These are one of those calls. I understand like people have families and somehow their families are more important than me, but I almost feel bad for people that are on this call today. So, but hopefully they'll listen to the recordings and stuff. But it's going to seem a little disjointed at first, and hopefully at the end we'll tie it all together. Um, uh, but I wanted to start off with school has just released um, their frictionless affiliate program. I'm adding the word frictionless to it. Um, and part of the reason why I haven't done an affiliate program with that, and I'm really, really good at with affiliates, is because of the friction. I don't know if anybody have affiliates before. They had to pay out a bunch of affiliates. Whew, man, you got 1099s, you got payments, keeping up with payments, and blah. That's why I prefer licensing over commission. Just turn the tables, make them pay me and everything, right? But it works very much like ClickBank. So you take the payments, they split it out. They handle the 1099s, they handle all the refunds, they handle all the chargebacks, all of that stuff, right? So that's all handled for you, right? You can set your commission from 0 to 50%, which means basically you're already set for 0, right? So on the free, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit, but um, one of the things I look for in investment, everybody always looks at the money side of the investment, and that fucks you, right? What I want more than anything than my money to multiply is my assets to multiply. And I would like them to multiply on their own. I like them to be self-multiplying assets. If your assets can multiply all the time, your money's going to grow automatically. It doesn't always happen if your money is growing that your asset base is growing. Not to pick on Dan, but his $130 average order value can go away like that. Be here one day, gone the next. It's what assets is he getting while that's happening? Does that make sense? So, do we have a way of self-multiplying those assets, right? And Dan, God forbid, I hope your $130 average order value turns into $200 average order value, right? But every offer goes lame. Every single fucking offer will go lame. Count on it. It's the assets that you build as you're doing that that will help you fly free, right? And get back up on that thing again. So one of the reasons why the affiliate program is so big is because you can self-multiply assets very easy. And because they made it frictionless, they didn't say, okay, now you got this affiliate program, and now you have to do all the 1099s and payouts and everything. Things are a lot easier to grow your community, um, especially if you have paid, right, on there. So I will set my commission. I'm not saying what you guys should do, but I'm going to set my commission at 50%. We even wish they had higher. Um, uh, Jim probably knows, but I make a lot more money, even at $290 per month. I make a lot more money in deals, licensing deals, selling other stuff, right? By building that asset than I even do at the $290 a month. Does that make sense? Right? Um, but it is frictionless, which is a big deal. It's frictionless for you. It's frictionless for the affiliates. Why is it good that it's frictionless for the affiliates? What is the affiliate worried about? Is everybody affiliated for somebody and had a big 5-figure or 6-figure paycheck coming? And then all of a sudden you wonder, like, am I going to get it?
Yeah,
Has
they're afraid
anybody
they're gonna
been
get screwed.
screwed out of it? Right. So when you add risk into something, is a big problem. This is frictionless for your affiliates too, right? They make it super easy. In the top, they can get their affiliate link to the group anywhere they're at. Boom, pow, they got their affiliate link. Goes right to your about page, right? And they know they're going to get paid. They know you can't fuck them. It's a big deal, right? They're going to get paid when things go. You're not going to like screw them over, right? Does that make sense, right? So big deal on the frictionless side. I could probably spend 3 hours talking about how to get your affiliates to sell for you. We're going to talk about one today, right? But um, I've already had like 88 people. I just did a little poll, like how many guys would spread the word about Ronin? 88 people. That's almost, I think I got almost 500 people in there right now, right? Um, I will probably uh, once it gets rocking and rolling, probably have a separate group just for my affiliates, right? And feed them different material and stuff. I'm talking about the best material you can feed them here in a minute, but feed them material to help them sell your stuff, right? Because most people aren't great at coming up with the marketing IP and all that kind of stuff. Um, that you can do trials. So we have a 7 day, and it's a free trial, just makes me happy as fuck. Um, because I don't care what you add to it. It's been done in studies. If you add any amount to that trial, you drastically reduce your conversions, right? So having a free trial, I would like to be a little bit more than 7 days, right? Most people don't want like, they're too scared, right? But actually, I found that the longer the trial goes, the better. But right now, it's locked at 7 days, right? On those free trials, right? Uh, the other thing I like about it is not is because it's frictionless, but it also allows me to vet people. That's the other big reason I didn't want to turn loose the affiliate program because it didn't allow me to vet people coming in, right? With a free thing, they had paid no money, right? I don't have to worry about chargebacks if they pay me money, they got to refund, right? Does that make sense? But now when they come in, I can see all the free people and I can see who sent them. I can see who sent them. Like, I'm going to pick on anybody here, but I would like, I'm sure if Jim sends anybody, they're probably going to be good, right? But if somebody else sends somebody, like, yeah, I might look at those a little bit more, right? So I can reach out to those people in DM because they're already sitting in your waiting to be approved, right? So you can reach out to those by people by DM. You can have a little bit more onboarding because you can DM them so easy in school, right? But it allows me to vet people before they even got money in the game. So I don't have to go back and do a bunch of refunds, which really looks bad on your merchant account, right? So it's really good for all those kind of things. Don't hold me to this because I haven't uh, um, place my eyes on it. But it would be silly to me if they didn't show in the data that you can pull from school if they didn't show who the affiliate was, if they didn't have a column that show you who the affiliate was. If they do that, then it's really easy. You can just take that data, put it into Chat GPT and say, give me a graph of my top affiliates or who, so you can have affiliate programs or any of those kind of things, right? And just let Chat GPT analyze that data. Like you could say, how many people has Leon Hatzenbeeler sent? 15, boom, like that, right? Awesome, right? Does that make sense, right? So you can just upload that to Chat GPT or whatever you're using to analyze data pretty quickly. Um, so that's it allows you to vet free trials, frictionless for you and the affiliates. Let's talk about the free thing. So say, hey, like right now, I have all my payments outside, right? I'm actually going to jump into and use school payments. It's a big enough thing for me to jump in and use school payments on this because if they're going to pay out everybody, thank you, Jesus. Because I was trying to set this up with uh, Jason. I spent like a week setting up these free trials, the whole funnel and everything. And then school comes out of this. I'm happy as a clam though. It's going to make it a lot easier, right? You can even have contests for free trials. You can pay out on free trials. There's all kinds of shit you can do, right? But let's talk about if you don't want to use any of that right now on if somebody, it's hard to see when you're on your own thing, but if you go into somebody else's school, it'll have an invite link there, even if they don't have it turned on. So they make it really easy to get the invite link to the group, right? And it's still going to show who sent the person in there. Can anybody say audience multiplier campaign? Good Lord, right? So you make it easy for people to uh, promote you even in a free group with the audience multiplier campaign. Again, if you guys can seed a group of 100 people and you're helping them get from point A to point B and you have a mission, or something you're all trying to attain together, they will spread the word for you. All you have to do is ask. And now that you keep track better, right, you can say, hey, I'm anybody who sends 20 people, I'm going to give you this prize, right? Or we're all going to do a special class. Or if you can send 1,000 people, we'll all get together in Little Rock or whatever. Does that make sense, right? For your free stuff, right? You can give away courses or books. You can use it as currency, right? So every time they send a free person, you can use it as currency. So when you give people money, that has a tendency to burn a hole in their pocket, right? So there's all kinds of ways you can use the free, even if you never plan on doing the paid stuff. Just it just makes audience multiplier campaign that much easier, right? It's so easy to do. They can invite all their people and friends and they have a link to send them to. Again, you do better if you give them copy, right? Because people left to their own devices suck at, right, doing invites and stuff, right? Like, so um, we're gonna kill two birds, or we're gonna feed two birds with one scone here in a minute. But that's just some of the school uh, stuff. So if you've been delaying getting the school group, good Lord, and uh, like again, big thing. I was almost getting ready to go back to ClickBank again so I could launch this affiliate army. One of the things they don't have, but they're probably going to put in there, they've already talked about putting it in there, is doing affiliate commissions on your courses. Now, so you can do, hey, you can get affiliate commission on this course. I don't want it blanket. To me, that course inside is probably a back end, but there's kind of cool stuff. But it works out really good if you have free, right? And you set up courses inside of there, right? So I don't know if they're going to be able to have any flexibility with that, but at some point they're talking about allowing you to turn on affiliate stuff for your specific programs and courses. And then you got another monetization path, because who says it has to be your course, right? um Leon was just made a post. By the way, you're a great namer, dude. Or not Leon, Jordan. Jordan's a great namer, Blackman. He just did a post in Rowan and said, hey, I'm looking for some folks to sell my get big whale clients from iPhone, right? From iPhone video. That'd be something real easy. I could just put them in there and say, hey, dude, let's put you in there, right? And set up a commission for you, right? Does that make sense? So basically, he could be affiliate for his own stuff, right? Be my stuff, but we could set it up where he gets 50%, I get 50%, or whatever we agree to, if that makes sense, right there inside of Ronin, if that makes sense. So um, that's the school stuff. Obviously, I don't have all the answers on that because I'm going to change my whole thing over to taking school payments, which goes by Stripe, by the way. They just, and it's just that you're not actually using Stripe, they're just using it to transfer money to you. Is all they're really doing. They're using Stripe Express to transfer money over to your bank account. So, um, but I'm not on school payment, so super excited about that. It'll help uh, frictionlessly grow and self multiply my assets without me having to do all the work. And Big Daddy, I like that. Like, I like that. So, um, pretty exciting stuff there. So, I wanted to um, feed two birds with one scone. And I was talking with one of my operators today about this. Um, and so, you guys running newsletters, or this applies to community? It really applies to any type of recurring stuff that you do, right? I have sold more stuff recurring using paywalls or a paywall type mentality than anything else. Paywalls work a lot better than a pitch, right? In my experience, right? So What's called as paywall profits. Selling upgrades and trials is pretty damn easy when you do it this way. There's numerous ways that you can sell recurring. um it works for big ticket stuff too, but there's numerous ways you can do the recurring. But let's say you take over a newsletter, right? And you got lots of people, but they're not even doing any paid subscriptions to it. They're not doing any upgrades. You can add in a fuck ton of people to this, right? You can add 100, 200, 300 people using this paywall profits thing. And if you want to sell the group after you brought in, so now if you're bringing in 3 grand a month, right? Say you bought the thing for 5 grand, now you're bringing in 3 grand a month. You can sell that newsletter for 36 grand, right? Because it's coming with the money already there, right? Or the income already there. So there's numerous ways you can do it. I found one way that works really, really well for me. One way to make a fortune doing this, right? One way to take your business or take a business and they're doing no revenue and turn it into an income machine. One way where they're going to love you is a big, big point. One way they're going to love you, even if they don't take the trial or the upgrade, and they're going to fucking adore you when they do. So they're going to love you if they don't take it, even with the paywall there, and they're going to adore you even more if they do take it, right? Paying for it after the paywall makes them adore you even more. So paying or committing makes them adore you even more. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the paywall profits? Okay, great. So the first thing you want to do is set up emotional tension. Like we've already talked about. We talked about that on the 20th call of February where we looked at the Power of Words video, right? We want to set up that emotional tension first, right? We want to set up that emotional tension, and then we want to give them the principle or the theory and paywall the example. We want to give them the principle or the theory. What's the principle behind this? Like I'm giving you guys the principle behind this now, right? So we want to give them the principle or the theory behind it and paywall the example. Would you guys like an example? Now imagine you guys weren't sitting here right now. Paywall, paywall, paywall. Would you like an example? And all of a sudden it says, this is for readers only, for paid subscribers only, right? So you give them the principle of the theory and it makes them want to do that. And then you paywall it. However, you guys have already paying me. So there's no paywall here. But I just kind of want to like, you know, show you um that. So if you guys look at the truth about passive income on my Substack, it's a perfect example. You don't have to be that long, right? But it goes through the whole, it sets up the tension, and I run cold traffic to it. That's why I really like set it up the way that I do. Um, but it sets up the tension with the 5 Ps. It's basically the Rudolph story, right? Again, it just goes back to that Rudolph story. Like you have a good person or a good character that wants something good and something stopping him. Well, in Rudolph's case, it happens to be a self thing. It happens to be his red nose, right? Rudolph tries all these things, covering it up with mud. Um, uh, and he just talks funnier. It gets worse and worse and worse, right? So we set up the tension, right? Charles Atlas, the old Charles Atlas ad. If you study that fucking ad and what he's doing in that ad, like you will never have conversion problems fucking ever again, right? But people forget about that ad and like, okay, well, how do I write something great, right? It's Rudolph's story, right? It's a comic strip written to like 10 and to 17-year-olds typically, probably younger men too, right? But he takes you through the tension, right? He takes you through the tension of the skinny guy, asshole kicking sand in his face right in front of his girlfriend. That's reputation, right? He's looking like a doof, right? He's like, oh, damn, right? I got to do something about this. Then he finds Charles Atlas. And Charles, like in the comic strip, they're giving you the principle called dynamic tension. They name it called dynamic tension. And they even explain it with logic. Dynamic tension is when you use your own muscles, right, in resistance to each other. And they give you an example that you already understand, which is, have you ever seen a tiger, right? How rippled they are. The cats are so sinewy. It's because they do this. They use their own tension to do that. And your 11-year-old mind that's going, oh my God. Like, like, and then you want to see examples. He's like, would you like to see? And then he's like, would you like all the exercises? Would you like those exercises to get bigger biceps? Oh, yes, please. Like, what exercise will like give you that triple head on your try? Oh my God. Rippling oh my God. And ripped it. Oh my and shoulders that like dark and hollow. Oh God. Like there's finally like just yes, yes. Right? Because they had to get you actually stuff a self-addressed envelope back then, right? Put $2 in this self-addressed stamped envelope and mail it off. Like, and it worked, right? Now we got to do is get some motherfucker to click and punch a few buttons. We like, oh, this internet game's so fucking hard. Like, no. Like back then, they had to get you, and you had to get your mom's, mom, I need a stamp. Like, what do you need a stamp for, son? Oh, God, I got to get this big muscles. Oh, like, so they really, they had to make these kids steal a stamp. Ask me how I know, right? You had to steal stamp and stationery, right? That's how they did it. Emotional tension. They gave you the principle. But if you wanted the exercises for big biceps that all the girls will gasp at, like, oh my goodness, like, that's what you really wanted. Does that make sense, right? This shit fucking works, right? You paywall it or some type of paywall, and god damn, they'll like I've tried all kinds of different ways. You can pitch and convince them and give them a link to buy. You might get two people, but you paywall them, you might get 10, 20, 30 people on that paywall, right? Now, if you put a tool in there, instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to give you one example, you say, hey, it's a little optional twist. And it's, if you already have it, but you can say, so just before the paywall, you say, would you like an example? Well, you know what? I don't want to give you just one example. I want you to have enough examples that you can apply it to your business. Wouldn't you like to apply this to your business, right? I don't want to just give you one exercise for bigger biceps because you're going to look weird if you have big biceps and skinny little chicken legs. Whew, right? So I don't want to just give you one, right? Or I don't want to just give you the different examples. I want to give you a tool where you can just plug in your niche and ask anything, and it'll plug like, I want to give you that tool. Would you like that? Paywall, 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 paywall. And they're like, oh my God, I gotta have it. And they're gonna be so happy. What do you think your consumption rate's gonna be after the paywall? High. Guess how many people are doing this? I've probably looked at 100 different newsletters in the last 2 weeks. Guess how many people are using paywalls? None. Zero. Right? I used to sell all kinds of fucking trials like this, not even with the paywall, and it's what I'm going to get to, right? But you can say, hey, this is for my paid subscribers, they'll sign up to the link, right? It doesn't have to be the technical part of having the paywall there, right? Hey, if you like the examples, if you like the tool, I want to just give you one example. I'm going to give you 10, and I'm going to give you the tool to use it, right? That's one of the first things that you get when you get inside the Sego 2000, right? And if you like it, you can get it right now, right? For $0 or $4 or $4.95 or $5, whatever you want the trial to be, or even if it's full trial, right? Hey, you're gonna get this right away, right? It works fucking amazing. So I call this salting the horse, right? They say You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Sego says bullshit. You just give him a bunch of salt first, right? It works, right? You salt him, right? You give him the principle or the theory, right? Set the emotional tension first, principle and theory, and then you paywall or make them pay for the examples or the tools. God damn, does it work good. Now let me ask you, what in the fuck does this have to do with school and affiliates? What does this have to do with school or just affiliates in general, even if it's not school? What does this have to do with affiliates? Anybody?
Affiliates would rather send people to free stuff.
That could be, right? But what if
Um,
you just let them create their own? How many of you think
well,
is going to actually understand this and test one to where it works like fucking crazy?
Yeah, you just got to give it to them. When you hand this over to them,
That's
explosion.
right. When you hand this over to them, right? You say, "Hey,"
well,
and you're going to come through different iterations. You're going to see some iterations that work really, really well, and then you're going to give that to your affiliates. This is akin to putting a vending machine in heavy, heavy traffic, right? But the vending, you're not leaving it up to them. Does that make sense, right? Now you're giving them one that you already knows works. That's why marketing IP is one of the best assets in the world. So once you've got a piece, once you've got a paywall piece that works really freaking well, right? If you're doing any type of affiliate stuff, but especially school where it's frictionless, right? Now you can say, hey, this works really good. I'm running it to cold traffic. Do you want to run it to cold traffic? Do you want to run some Shogun traffic method to it, and you give them those pieces where their mind are just like, oh, what? Right. And they sign up for the free trial, right? Using their affiliate link, right? So this is where this ties in. This is where the one scone feeds the two birds here, right? So now you got this frictionless affiliate program. You can test out different paywall profits or paywall type situations, right? To cold traffic. And once you have one that works, now you can give it out to the rest of your affiliates and they can go plug it out. How many of y'all know how to run traffic on Pinterest? I don't. How many of y'all even use Instagram? I don't. How many like how many of you guys are good at SEO? I'm not. All these traffic sources. There's other people that are fucking good at it, right? They understand the flows, but they don't understand how to do trials or give them the principle or the wisdom, give them the principle of wisdom, and then save the examples. Again, there's multiple ways to do it, but you only need one way. You only need one way that works. And people never get tired of it. Whew, man, that's good content, man. You just paywall the example. I know I've said this a bazillion times, but just another example of it. People will give me 6 grand, 10 grand. They'll fly all the way across the fucking world into Little Rock, right? And it's just hard as fuck, right? And they'll drive all the way to my house, right? They'll rent a car, they'll drive all the way to my house because they want to know what the fuck is in the G3, the gimme, gimme order form, and they want to see examples of it. How do I know? They tell me that, right? It's powerful, right? You don't need 50, 11 different ways to sell recurring. You just if you understand this paywall profit, right? Give them the principle, give them the theory, paywall the example or paywall the tool, right? Works amazing. They love you, whether they buy it or not. They adore you even more once they commit and give you money and jump in. Does that make sense? I do want to leave one caveat here is that if your shit's not good, right? And they come in on the trial, right? They're going to cancel. Does that make sense? Right. So that's another problem for another day, right? But you want to make sure that once they come in, you're already going to have a head start because you're going to get something they already wanted, right? And they're going to get started on it, right? And hopefully get a result, fans and fortunes formula. They're going to get a small result, right? That's meaningful for them that gets them started on the right path, right? Does that make sense? But I'm not saying this cures delivery problems or, a shitty product. You give somebody a scoop of icing on a shit pie, right? You give them the meringue on a shit pie. After they get done with the meringue, they're still gonna know it's shit, right? Does that make sense? So um, it won't solve that problem, but definitely will widen the hole and uh, so a ton
Travis, I'm
trial stuff. Yeah.
a little. I don't know whether you've been talking about this paywall stuff on previous calls, or is this the
Yeah.
first?
So on February 20th, I had a call where we talked about using emotional tension, right? It's the one thing missing, right, from people's ads and stuff. That's why they're not working. And so kind of like yours, you start out with Heaven Island, right? And it was kind of weak on the Hell Island, but you want to have those, you want to build that tension right up front. Oh, right. And so I would watch. That's on February 20th, right? Just go with the
Right.
fuel part.
So for me, like, let's say you've got Ronan, your group or whatever, and it's $100 a month. Are you saying you're talking about using a paywall? You're creating that tension, and then you're giving them a tool as an incentive for them to join the group rather than just.
Well, yeah. Well, I haven't done any too many trials on Ronan yet, just because right, because I was being real picky on who came in and everything. But on other trial stuff, right, it's it doesn't have really to do with the trial. You still want emotional tension. You want emotional tension everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying you can't just say, "Hey, here's a principle here." You still want to build up that emotional tension, right? Does that make sense? You still want to have um, you're seeing that power of words video. I showed it in the right, the power of words, right? The homeless guy, he's just sitting there. He's got a sign that says, "I'm blind, please help." And like nobody's putting any, maybe one person, like dozens of people go by, chink, right? A lady comes by, she scribbles some shit on a sign, and all of a sudden it's like, right? And she comes back, clickety clock, clickety clock, clickety clock, right? Because he's blind. He feels her shoes and he's like, "Oh, what did you do to my sign?" Right? And she's like, "I just changed the words." Right? And the words were, "It's a beautiful day and I can't see it," which creates emotional tension in the passersby because it's a hell island and a heaven island. And the offer is to put money. That's the only way they can release that emotional tension is to put money in the can, right? And you want that in everything that you do, right?
Well, yeah. I just don't understand what this paywall is, because they have, like, that's just paying for the free trial into a group.
Technically, so if you have newsletter software, right, they get to a certain part and they read,
Yes.
right? And so what I was doing here is like, "Hey, I gave you the principle and everything. Would you like to know? Would you
Sure.
like to see an example?" Right? And so if it was in writing, what would happen next? They would see a big paywall. It would say, "Hey, this is for readers. This is for paid
Sure.
upgrade people only," right? And they're like, "Oh, fuck. It's the answer. The example is right there." Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
like the Charles Atlas ad, right? "Hey, here's all these examples of exercises that'll make your biceps bulge and your, right, all this stuff. But I had to send off for the free booklet, right, or the $2 booklet to get it." Does that make sense? That was their paywall, right?
Yeah. So if you were driving traffic to a school group, you would have the copy on the About Us page to create the paywall, essentially, or to create
I
that.
would send it. I would send it somewhere else, right?
Okay.
Uh, right. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think the about page is big enough
No, no, that's what I was thinking. That's
to
what
do
I thought.
it yet. Yeah. So you could do it. I mean, you could do it in the email. You could do it. I do it everywhere. Email, articles, right? Like a lot of my stuff is just you won't see a paywall there, right? Does that make sense? But it's still paywall, right? I said if you're driving clicks, you want to paywall the click, right? Everybody else is talking about, "Oh, I get 10% clicks, blah, 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 blah." In the relationship niche, I would get like 50% of the people that opened it would click through because I was so good at developing the self-interest and the emotional tension. They're like, "Oh, fuck, I need to know what that inside that video was just a click," right? Does that make sense? I would just salt them, salt them, salt them, salt them. Bam, they would click that link, right? and then the VSL was really good, right? So it's just paywalling a click, right? We're just paywalling. We're saying, here's what I want you to do. Here's what you're going to get on the other side if you come over and do whatever I want you to do, which maybe click, maybe give us $5, or take a free trial, put your credit card in, any of those kind of things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying the one way to do it is you explain the principles and the theories behind it,
Yeah.
right? But they want to see examples. Like I can explain all day long, hey, here's how to make sales really simple. Don't try to make a hole in one, right? The problem with most people when they're trying to make a sale is they're 350 yards away from the hole, plus they're blindfold. And so they're trying to make holes in one, right? And maybe one, if they're really, really good, one golf ball in 100 goes in on a hole in one, right? In marketing and sales, they don't care how many times you hit it. You can have a popsicle stick if you just move that golf ball all the way to the green, right? Matter of fact, move it all the way to the hole, right? And then hit it in. You're not, it's not golf, right? It's not like low par. Like people play marketing like it's golf. They come in cold. I got to give them in one try. I got to give them one try. Because if I don't get them there, like they're not going to happen. No, Mark, they don't. You get paid. You get paid whether it takes you 3 tries or 4 tries or 5 tries or 6 tries or 7 tries. Why not get all those motherfuckers in the hole? What is this set up, right? How do I get people from? How do I do it? Does that make sense, right? Would you like to see some examples, right? So they can understand the principle and the theory, right? Then you paywall the actual examples, right? Then you can paywall later on the, hey, would you like help with implementation, right? Does that make sense? So
It does. I think the way, logically, the way that I'm thinking about this is I can visualize it um, on a newsletter, right? But for me, like what you're just explaining is what I try and do with everything that I do. You know, you want to kind of, as you say, get them super hungry for the next thing, right? So it's almost irresistible for them to get through. It's just what you've been teaching for a long time, right? But it's more applicable to newsletters.
well, it's applicable anywhere. What I'm saying is that there's software on a newsletter that
Yes.
will let you put a paywall there and nobody uses it because they don't understand how to drive people to that wall. It
Yeah.
can be a link, it can be whatever you want it to be, but it's really effective when they're right there and they're like, why it's so the actual software paywall is so effective because they're like, fuck, it's right there.
Mm.
Like he's gonna, all I have to do is put my credit card number in, right? It's only $20 a month. If I don't like it, then I can just cancel it, right? But I want to get this, right? I got to know how to get those bulging biceps, right? And I've got chicken legs, so I got to like, oh, those calves. I got to build my calves because everybody's laughing at my calves, right? And he's going to give me the calf exercise or the 5 calf exercises, right? That will not only build the outer side of my calves, right, but the inner side of my calves. And that's the one I really want, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And one other quick question about the affiliate thing for school. For free groups, it's just a better way to use the audience multiplier.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. You're already set up for it. Like if you go into somebody group now they're gonna have a big invite link, right? Just like Facebook, you have invite link, right? But now they have a big invite link, which gives them the link. But what's cool is now you can track the free people that they send, right? So you can run all kinds of audience multiplier contests. You can turn it into currency. Look, anybody that gets me that sends 10 people right in the month of blah 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 is going to get this. You send me 20 people, you're going to get this, right? Does that make sense?
That's epic. And if you can tie it into the classroom and they get paid on that as well. Like,
Absolutely, it's currency. I don't know why people will be able to do this, right? But like literally part of the benefits of a community is you can create your own currency. Why not create our own money in there, right? I'm bartering first. I just bought an ad in a big newsletter from a Ronin, and I just bartered a year in Ronin, right? So it's money. It's just money, right? Like, and so we can create our own currency inside of a community, but like it's one of those other things that people just don't do. Like, um, I sell a bunch of stuff because people have Mojo bucks or Ronin bucks stored up, right? Um, they don't even know how many they have. It's like, I got some Ronin bucks somewhere. So we look at their what they bought, right? Like, okay, here's how much you got, right? Does that make sense? So it helps stimulate those sales too, because they're like, oh, I already have this money. It's already off on that, right?
I was talking to the team about like moving all of our pay stuff to school a little while back, but they kicked back big time because there's a lot less flexibility, and I don't.
100% true.
Yeah,
I really don't like running. I really don't like month. I don't like to say 290 a month. I like to say 10 payments of 290 for a year, right? With school, you're not going to have, you're going to limit yourself there. But what they may not, I'm not saying you what to do, and, you know, but the reason why I'm making the shift over is because Ronan will blow the fuck up now, right? And if I don't have to pay out 100 affiliates and manage 100 W-9s and, of course, obviously I can give that to a payroll company, right? But it's so frictionless. I just, it's really one button. That's how I want 50%. Once you got your payments, I want to give 50% commissions or 40% commissions. Now, right now, you can't do different ones for different people, right? Um, so it's all across the board, right? But the ability, and people are chomping at the bit, right? So they're going to go out. I'm going to hit all kinds of different areas I never would have hit before, right? Um, but what I'm really good at is giving them great marketing IP that they can take out, right? Hey, use this book, use this course. You can use this course, put your affiliate link underneath it, right? And what's that course going to do? It's going to paywall profit. Like it's going to give them the principle, and then hey, you want the examples on how we're doing it? Do you want the email that we're using to get 50% reply rates, right? It's in the member. Does that make sense? So they're going to want those tools, even though they understand the theory and principles behind it. Does that make sense? So that's um, I always feel chagrined sometimes to keep talking about it, but um, that's how I blew up like all my stuff, bum marketing method, magic and making up, right? I give them tools that they can go out and use. I knew that when T-Dub did a video, right? When I T-Dub did a video, and I sent it out to my affiliate army. I was like on 300 different blogs and 300 different places in like in 48 hours. Like I could give them a keyword to go after, and it'd be all my people on Google. Like it'd be all like you'd search a poof, the whole page filled up with my shit, right? Google AdWords, fucking everywhere you would go, right, would be my stuff. And I didn't have to do anything for it, right? Because I have all my affiliates out there in different places, right? And again, because wasn't focused on money, I was focused on growing my assets, right? Um, it just flywheel, right? I had radio stations promoting me. I would give them 100%, right? Instead of they're having blank airtime, they would just promote my stuff, right? I would give them the 60-second copy, right? Which was basically like the theory. And then, hey, do you want the actual magic second chance letter? Blah, blah, blah. It's over here, right? Same thing. So they would run these spots. I'd give them 100% because I didn't give a fuck about the money on the front. I just wanted the customer base, right? Um, because the customer base was so lucrative, right? All the other stuff that they would buy.
yeah. That's what I was saying about my AOV before as well. That's just in the 3 minutes that they go through the funnel. You know what I mean? Like not
Right.
going to school to get all of this
That's
stuff.
right.
So it's lifetime. It's infinite ROI,
Yeah,
really.
that's right. And that's right. I love that term. You want to get it to such a point that you like it doesn't matter what it costs to bring in somebody because I have infinite fucking ROI on this, right? And you do too, because you're training your people. So this is the other advantage that we have, because I'm already training my people how to market, pre-sale, affiliate, right? We have our own built-in army and they just kind of sit on the sidelines, right? This is what I understood about when I was showing people how to do SEO and convert people for their SEO traffic. They want more products, right? So I had 50,000 plus people that were on my list, right? That knew, I would say they all knew how to do SEO and stuff, but a big enough, hey, I'm coming out with a product in the relationship space. Would you like, right? Holy crap. We get fresh territory too, right? Like nobody's going after these keywords. Nobody's on these ads. Nobody, right? Like, right? Right? So instead of just seeing my affiliates list, right, as somebody to buy products from, I'm like, how can I turn them into my distribution? Which was infinitely more valuable, right? And of course, that got other big people to see it, right? And so they jump on it. It just becomes this big asset flywheel of distribution, right? And those kind of things. So that's what I'm always telling people, like, I always make this joke and people laugh and they think I don't think they think I'm evil. But when I was a kid, I would trade my kid sister bicentennial quarters that were nice and shiny, right? That fit in her Barbie stuff, right? For those dirty old dollars. And we would just make that trade all day. As many dollars she had, I'd get them all for those quarters. And everybody laughs. But as adult humans, we do the same fucking thing. We trade our valuable time, energy, the things we can never get back for those dirty fucking dollars. And we don't understand what the fuck we're doing. We need to get assets for them, right? So basically, we're trading dollars for dimes every time we sell our time, right? Or we say, oh, I don't want to give this person an extra percent or whatever, right? Because we're too focused on the money. We're making the same mistake my sister did when she was little, right? And naive. Um, Adults can be very, very naive. And that's why we have money problems, because we don't understand where money comes from. I know I just keep beating this over and over and over, but tomorrow somebody will say, like, oh, I don't want to lie out. They'll get so hung up on a percentage, they won't get a fucking deal done because they're too focused on the money, right? Not on the asset, not on how can I grow my asset base. So, anyways, you can never expect your employees that are getting paid a wage or a salary. Nothing, oh, nothing wrong with employees, but they don't understand it. They will not understand why you would give 100% and not worry about the money in exchange for the asset, or make things a little bit more complex. By the way, this doesn't stop you from still bringing in, like, I can still sell people in on my single stuff, but I can also have my affiliate program, right, where they come in. So you can still bring in free. It doesn't stop you from bringing in people the other way, right? Does that make sense? So you can kind of have best of the both worlds. You can still run your stuff on any way that you want, but then you can have the affiliate program on the same side, right? But I'm trying not to beat up on people, but most humans have a very short-term focus, usually either today or tomorrow, and at most a week from now. I'd probably say I'm just pulling out a number out of my ass, but you put 10 people in a room, nine people out of that 10 do not think past a week from now. They're so short-term focused, right? The way to beat the fucking world is to get in that 10% that's thinking beyond, right? What's the next 2 or 3 moves? Or what's the next year, right? Even a year, you're crushing people, right? What's the strategy that you're doing, right? Um, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but money is one of the ways that keeps slavery in place. Money is one of the ways that keep slavery in place. Like, the rich guys don't play this game. They go out and they acquire shit. Ever since the day of land, right? They go acquire stuff. They acquire assets. They don't give a shit about money. They're trying to get rid of their money and put it into assets, right? Because money is shit, right? You want the assets. And of course, the funny thing is once you have enough assets, then you're awash with money. You're like, fuck, how can I get rid of this money now? How do I get rid of this fucking money? Right? Where do I put this money? Right?
Question, Travis.
Yeah.
So I just, once I hit like 100 paying members over at the Meaningful Man, I bumped it, not my, like 115 now. I bumped it to $20 a month and, or 150 for the year.
Yeah.
Or $1,000 for the top level tier. And the reason I jumped it up to $20 because I was going to add on the Meaningful Man school group. And I'm curious how you think about, because obviously now I'm going, okay, well, my front end is the Substack. So now they come in from Substack, but they also get into that group because of it. But I'm kind of at a point where I don't get to, I don't know. I guess I'd have to get creative on how I would use that to grow the group. Right? You can't really do it that way, can you?
No, you can.
Yeah.
So your free stuff, you just go more macro. What I'm telling you here, your free stuff is all principle.
Yep. Yeah.
Does that
Which
make
is what I'm doing
sense?
over there now
All
with my,
principle and theory.
right.
If they upgrade, they get examples, right? So that's your $20 a month on Substack
Okay.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To go into your community, right,
Mm-hmm.
is implementation. Hey, do you want us to actually help you with what you got going on, help you when you get stuck?
Right.
And it's not even you, it's like the community that you have. Everybody's helping everybody, right? So
Yep.
at first it's going to be you. When there's 3 people on there, guess who it's going to be? It's going to be you, right? But that's part of the
Yeah.
reason why you want to get your and you use whatever you have. Like having 3 people is not bad, right? You just
Right.
whatever you have, you highlight that. Hey, we've only got 4 people. That means you're going to get a lot of my help. Or it's like super close and tight knit and blah blah blah.
Right.
When you
Right.
get 500 people, do you say, "Oh, now we're too big"? No, you say, "Great, now you got it all." Does that make sense? So whatever you
Yep.
got
Yep.
becomes the advantage, right? Does that make sense?
So you would charge above and beyond for the group itself, the community. So it's $20 for the other, and then above and beyond, it would be whatever for the community.
Yeah. And again, there's 101 ways to skin a cat. I'm just telling you one way that really
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Like, great. So, the free stuff, I'm going to show you what to do. The
Mm-hmm.
paid stuff, I'm going to give you examples on how to do it. Now, if you want to help doing it, right, join the community. Does that make sense?
Got it. Okay. And then I could leverage the referral thing with that if I wanted to. Got it.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So because of that, and I don't want to get off your topic yet, but because of that, so I did the post in Ronin. So far I've put 24 people in there from that. I'm looking and like the post isn't really, I mean, it could have been better. It was okay, but
which one? The one in my group or one in your group?
No, the one in your group. That one. And it's okay, more or less, but yeah, we've put 24 in. I got the numbers for you, by the way. So we put 24 in, 8 people have voted so far. 4 said no. 3 are I'm still in combo, and 1's already paid in full. Thank you.
Really, the biggest spot I saw for the improvement, I was fine with the post in Ronin. I think your next one should be shorter.
Yeah,
right? Because you've already built up everything, right? And I think you added stuff you probably didn't need to add. I mean, you wouldn't talk about the quiet little launch, but I'm like, remember what their big trigger was. The big trigger point, what isn't in your first post in the Meaningful Man. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Yeah, it's more of the, well, no, tell me, because I'm not sure.
The thing that got everybody excited was the having built-in operator.
Yeah.
And you changed channel on them when they came in the Meaningful Man. You just talk about quiet little launch. You don't talk about the no operator thing anymore. Does that make sense?
Okay. Well, and my intention is because that's the first post, but I know I'm going to do more posts. And so I've got a couple of things, several things that I know that I can touch on.
Yeah.
But thanks for the feedback. I'll go ahead and change that over.
I think it's fine. I would just they were thirsty. You salted them up with the built-in operator, right? And then it's kind of like, wait, what's this?
Yeah. And I think the reason I did that is because I was like, everything hinges on being able to put these deals together. What I'm starting to realize, like a couple of people mentioned in the post, they were like, yeah, but Beamer, like no new offers. And so I can still tell that's probably a thing. So that's what I was going to salt them with on that.
No, that's great. I think that was probably the objection, but I would just say, hey, I think it's fine, right?
Hmm.
But you can always do another post, dude. Like I just do
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
so we've
Okay.
opened this up, and you just tell them what's happening in there. Woo! People are really excited about this. We're gonna be I'm
Hmm.
getting ready to give them the details, right?
Yep.
On blah blah blah, or I'm gonna do blah 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 blah, right?
Hmm.
But keep it short, right?
Yep.
Here's the if you want all the details on it, here it is, right?
Okay.
So I would do another post like that, right? So.
In that group. And then do you want me to wait till like you said like Tuesday of next week to maybe do a follow up at all in the running group? Or what are your thoughts?
To send more people over to your group.
Hmm. Hmm.
What is today? Um, yeah, I'll probably wait till Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. I don't have a big
Okay.
dog in the fight, but
Okay.
usually like Tuesdays, like around 11-ish or so, probably the prime time, right? 11
Is
Central.
it 11 Central? Okay, yeah. So
Yep,
it's 10 my time. Or
yep,
no, we have daylight savings time. It changes. So
yep. And then
yeah.
what I'll do is on that next one, I'll send an email out
Uh,
and hit that post too, right?
okay.
So
Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. All right.
yeah, I would just work them, and like those four people that said no or whatever, those are going to be that's your goal. Like,
Yeah.
hey, don't want to keep you in the group. You're not interested, right? Like, does that make
Uh,
sense?
gotcha. Yeah. So if they're
Um,
not interested, just yeah.
yeah, but I would mind them a little bit first, right? And they're probably say no, no, I'm. You see, we're going negative, so they're gonna have to save the self. Does that make sense? Like, hey, should I just
Right.
pull you out of the group? I don't want to like go through all these details if you're not into it. Well,
Right.
no, I'm kind of into it, but like, did you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a
Uh,
conversation going where the truth gets on the table.
yeah.
If you come in and say, God, why aren't you interested? Does that make sense? And they're gonna,
No, no. Well, I've already the ones that said no, I was like, well, hey, fantastic. I like to just be like, hey, thanks for your decision. Like it's over. And but by the way, what had you considering this to begin with? And then they've
yeah.
they've been getting the truth on
I
the
think
table.
that I think that's fine, but I would just go more negative,
Okay.
but not like there's something wrong with them.
No, yeah, exactly.
Like you
Hey, I
don't want to
don't
rub
like we're
that
going to be
like,
dropping more
hey,
stuff in here. I don't want to I don't want to pound you
that's
with
right.
stuff
That's
if
right. Should
this
I
is
just pull you out? Like, let me know. I'll be happy
right.
to pull you out. If they say, no,
Okay.
don't pull me out,
Right.
does that make sense? Because
Yep.
we want is the truth on the table.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I thought about pulling them out, but I was like, how do I want to do that? But okay, I like that. It's a good
Yeah. So
approach.
you just go more negative,
Right.
right? It's old Sandler stuff, right?
Yeah.
When they say no, you go more negative,
Right.
right? Like, yeah, I'm not sure this is for me. Yeah, I understand that. Probably won't ever be for you. I don't, you probably never want to run something without an operator, right? Or do a new offer ever, right?
Right.
Should I just that's where the should I close the file on you? I would say it there,
Yep.
right? But like, hey, I don't want to keep sending you stuff and wearing you out. I
Hmm.
can pull you out of the group if you want me to. Should I pull
Right.
you out of the group? Right.
Right.
So don't say, I'm going to pull you out of the group because you're not interested. Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
then they have to save it. Like, yeah. And if they say, yeah, you pull me out of the group, then you got the truth on the table.
Right. Yep.
But you have to assume that most people, they're not liars. They're just
Mm-mm.
not real specific in what they want. Right. So, but now they can
Yeah.
get specific. Well, I kind of wanted that no operator thing, but I don't see anything about the no operator thing in here. I just see quiet little launch,
Hmm.
or probably what you're going to get is like, I just upgraded in Ronin and I got this other tool now, right?
Well, that's what two of them out of the four are like, yeah, I'm struggling and I've got all these, I still don't, and it's like, it's probably isn't for me because I don't have, I've already got the offers and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do with it anyway.
Yeah.
So,
So where I focus them again, our focus, their focus, most
hmm.
useful focus. The
Hmm.
problem that they're having is their focus turns to all the tools.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, what are you building? What are you
Yep.
trying to do? Right? Or
Yep.
do you have somebody that has a new offer? Right? Do you think it would be easier for you to work with
Right.
somebody that smaller that has a new offer? And if you don't, that's awesome, right? Like,
Hmm.
so you just want to get the truth on the table. You're not trying to steer them either way or
Right.
the other,
Just a
right?
decision. Yeah.
And again, all we're trying to do is say, this is a stupid example, but it's really good. It's like, imagine we sell a Phillips screwdriver, right? And
Hmm.
so what we have to understand is that they're not trying to lie to us. They just don't see the screw very well. And so you say, okay, let's see here. What does a screw look like? Is it got a minus sign or a plus sign on it? Minus or a plus? If they say minus, then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, like, then you can hold up a standard screwdriver and say, does it look like this? And you're like, yeah, well, I don't sell those, or here's where you can go get one. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
But if they say, a lot of people say, is it like, does it have a minus sign or a plus sign on it? Well, I'm not really looking at the screw right now. Okay, well, can
Mhm.
you take a look at it? Well, I can't see it. Well, how come you can't see it?
Mhm.
Well, lights aren't on. Okay, let's turn some lights on. Do you give a flashlight? I learned all this being a tech, right? Like,
Right.
so I had to be where they are and try to see what they're seeing, right? Oh, okay, I can see it now. Great. Does it look like a minus sign or a plus sign, or does it look like an X, right? Like, is it because it could be turned, right? Well, it looks
Mhm.
like an X. Okay, right. Um, See if you can give me an idea of the size. Could you like put one ant, from left to right on that, or two ants or three ants, right? Oh, probably one ant. It's probably one ant size, right?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, right. And then when you hold up your Phillips screwdriver, you're like, oh my God, that's it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But you have to get them to see first. But they don't see. Like, okay, great. So you've got a bunch of tools. Now, can we look at what you're building right now? Who are you working with, or who are you trying to work with? They might say, well, I'm trying to work with these big people, blah, blah, blah. What's the problem
Yeah.
with that? Well, they're asking me for references and I feel nervous and everything. Would you feel more comfortable if you're working at somebody that had an audience or a small audience, but they're working on a new offer. They're just right? And they don't know how
Yeah.
to sell. Yes, right? You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So now you're
Mhm.
just having them look at, let's shine a light on this screw thing, right? And you're not trying to, if they come and say, no, it looks like a minus sign, like, oh, you
Right.
totally get it, dude. Like, I don't have that tool in my toolbox. Does that make
Yep.
sense? Right.
Yep. Got it. Yep.
But then all that data will come out, right? And
Mhm.
and you can talk about like, hey, Travis is just giving you tools, right? Everybody's just giving you tools. Like, again, most people, they think a day ahead, if that,
Oh yeah.
right? Um, like Ty is good kid, and he's getting his wisdom on, right? So I'm not trying to beat up on him, right? But he's like, whew, I hope I've got all the tools now. You will never have all the tools. As long as things keep changing, this is the game, bro. But you got to figure out what you're building,
Yeah.
right? Like,
He's
what are
one
you
of
going
them.
after?
He's one that said no, by the
Yeah, I
way.
figured it. I
I
figured,
think I
right?
didn't even want to bother
And that
with
might
it.
be a
So,
great decision for him, right? Like, maybe he says, I haven't decided what I'm building. Great. That's what you got to do right now.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get. What you're building is an audience,
Right.
right? Um, or getting control of somebody's audience. Now the question is like,
Mhm.
what audience type do you want to get
Right.
control of, right? Like,
And that's
um,
one of the things I want to talk about because even you were thinking, people that don't have anything. It's like, no, there's very specific types of people we're looking for so that you can kind of
right.
predict those wins. Like, and it might be because I've been doing it for so long, I can kind of predict the ones I know I'm going to get some kind of win with, and I know the
Yeah.
factors that I'm looking for. That's partly what my next thing is. My next post is because when you can do that, when you can see these indicators, you're just like, oh, it's almost like picking up, money off the ground.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those no's are going to be super valuable to give you that
yeah,
feedback, right? But
yeah,
again, the way to handle it is just go more negative. Don't make them wrong, right?
for
Just
sure,
go
for
to more
sure.
negative. Like, hey, dude, like super appreciate you coming in here, and that's all you got to know on that. I'm just wondering, like, I don't want to give you a bunch of stuff that's going to confuse you, or you don't want or
Mhm.
don't need. Should we just pull you out of the group, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yeah, maybe that's the thing, right? Or
Mhm.
no, well, I don't know. Like, no, that's gold, right? Like,
Yeah. What, by the way, what are you charging, you're going to be charging, 12 payments of 290 for Ronin, by the way?
yeah, with school, that's the only way I can do it. It's just gonna be a
What I
month to
figured.
month is what's gonna
Yeah.
happen on that, right?
Because if I do mine, I'm thinking like maybe it's 199 a month, and then I can pay out 50% on it. And the people that are feeding in here, they can do
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Uh, okay.
Um, it's up to you. You might get a few people in first, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not going
And
to do it right away,
yeah,
but like
yeah,
once I seed this,
yeah,
get this out of the way, because
yeah.
then right after that, I've got deals over clients and I can use that in a few different
That's right.
ways,
Yeah,
right? So, um, and that's a one, like obviously that's coming in for buyers, from the book.
yeah,
Um, and they're, sure I don't know how I would do it on that because I'm keeping that group free,
yeah.
right? Like, and I'm thinking about keeping, well, it's going to be private and free. So I don't know how I'd mess with that one, but we can talk about that, I guess, when it comes time.
Um, you brought up something that, yeah, this is crushing for me.
Hmm.
I was drawing it in a diagram. I haven't shared it with anybody, but um, you know, I'm getting my book in all kinds of download areas
Hmm.
with some big people, right? So I don't know if Jimmy Boy is still here. I think Jimmy left. Um, but think about this from a diagram perspective. Um, your book is a really good uh, paywall, right? When you
Hmm.
think about it, you give them all the philosophy, you give them examples in there, but kind of like part of the reason why like my group works so good is because even though I give them examples in here, guess what they want more? Can you show me more examples? I like look at the back of the book. It's 5 Ps right there. They're just like, oh my God. Like, but it
Yeah.
takes like really smart people too. Like top A copywriter. Like, I want more examples. I'm like, look at the back of the book. He's like, holy fuck. Right. Like, right. Just
Hmm.
look at the book. Right. There's an example right there. But there's examples. But the big thing I want is examples, right? So they come to the group to get so principles,
Hmm.
right? Come to the group for examples, right?
Hmm.
Um, uh, in the community, right, is part of the kind of like, I'm using that as kind of the
Hmm.
free community, right? So they're getting examples in there, right?
Yeah.
But if they want to implement more stuff, right, they can come in Ronin or do whatever they want to. But think about this. Um, I just sent 25 books. I think it was cost me $70 to send 25 books to 25 people please 25 people that are in a mastermind right
Hmm.
now, right?
Hmm.
The book all goes into make them beg to buy community,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
We did, and Jim and Jason are mostly responsible for this, but did like 30 grand out of that group in the last 30 days.
Nice.
So, but now I can build it, right? Just by, hey, can I pay you
Yeah.
so they're just, right. Can I send you books to your conference? Right. But now I've got a different PDF that I send them called the VIP PDF, which basically is a bigger, I've got a QR code on the front to get them in the group and a little bit more, right. To get them
Hmm.
inside of the group. Right. And
Oh.
these people are like, follow, like I just sent out, like, hey, um, if you ever want to give away, make a beg to buy in your download area, right, or your
Hmm.
members area, like I'd let you do it 100% royalty free. And they're like, what? No, like, no, that's like I could. He probably won't get mad if I show it to you. Mm,
By the way, the book, I'll have a physical copy in roughly 10 to 12 days. And then
yep.
it's 30 days after that is launch.
But you guys can see this. I won't say the name. You guys probably can figure it out who it is. It's up on the top, but I'll read it to you, but I was coming to show it to you, but
Okay.
I'll read it to you. So I sent them, if you ever want to offer the book as a bonus or put in any or all of your members area, you've got my permission. And for you, it's royalty free. Wait, what? Oh man, Trav, that's way too generous. Nah, my pleasure. I don't want it to give it away free, but as a bonus or in your members area, we all win. Yeah, of course. Give me your tech or your person's, give me your tech person's email and I'll send you over the PDF and cover images, right? Um,
Mm.
Boom, right? Now, here's the thing, like Leon's gonna follow once we get it in there, right? He's gonna follow up with him because what is this? This is just the first thing, right? Like old Cialdini, do you remember Reed Cialdini?
Yeah.
You want to put a big ass sign in somebody's yard for
Oh,
politics,
yeah.
you put a little one first, right?
First.
It's all the same, right?
Yeah.
You start small and you get bigger and bigger. Like next thing, like, oh, hey, Would you like to put phone the sales machine in there? Would you like to, does that make
Uh-huh.
sense?
Yep.
But think of this diagram now. I got book, and
Hmm.
now I'm probably in a dozen different download areas now,
Hmm.
customer download areas that are hitting my community, right? Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yep.
I don't have to do anything. I'm sticking them in download areas where they're going to be there forever, or
Right.
forever's a poor choice of words, but a long
Sure.
time,
Long time.
right? Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Now, excuse my language, but if I'm a fucktard, I'm gonna worry that this cost me $2.50 fucking cents, right? No, you got a event with 100 people. Please, I'll send it to you. I'll ship it to you, right? If
Oh
you promise,
yeah.
you'll give it away. Same thing with a PDF. Like, oh, but I'm gonna rape all my sales on Amazon. No, you won't, because you're gonna
Mhm.
get it and they're gonna want to get the hardback. They're gonna want to get the audio. They're gonna go in, right? Other
Right.
people are gonna know about it. But again, people get too freaking right. You can tell I go, I can't see you. I'm so broke. Right? Like, because the fucking like, yeah, you're broke because you can't fucking see past the fucking money. Right?
Yeah, I mean, well, here's what just happened. Like when you mentioned all of that, I'm like sitting here going, I wasn't like my book, I don't even see it until just now. I didn't see it as the asset that it's going to really be.
Yep.
Like that's what you just turned the light on for me. I'm like going, holy shit. Like I was already thinking like somebody as part of Jordan's mastermind was like, dude, I'll buy 100 books from you so that we can, get them at the next live event. And I was like, oh, sweet. But now I'm just thinking, I'm like, showing shit, how many people can I get this download in their stuff? Forget about it,
Yep.
like, yeah, there's so many different ways you can use that IP.
Yeah. Almost nobody says no.
Yeah.
Right? Just so
Yeah.
I'm rubbing some shiny off. Nobody says no to this deal.
Hmm.
The challenge and where I fucked it up last time I did it is I tried to make
Hmm.
him jump through a bunch of fucking hoops. Like, hey, let's send them to an opt-in page and blah 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 blah. And like,
Hmm.
now you probably can do that, but I would just pay him. I'm like, hey, if you
Yeah.
put this in there, I'll pay you per lead for everybody that opts in or something like that, right?
Right.
But just easier just to give them the fucking thing and make your book the paywall, right, for the
Right.
next thing that comes in. Let them get the
I'll-
PDF, put it in their download area. Again, I don't want them giving it away for free because I want the buyers, right? And I'm not
right.
necessarily against them giving it away for free if it's the right
Hmm.
thing, right? Does that make
Hmm.
sense? But what I don't want is like just a promo because I'm not going after promo. I want it to be steady flow, right? Like a
Right.
vending machine
Yep.
and steady ass flow, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just always have that flow going into the community, right? Or
Yep.
wherever I want it to
Right.
go, if that makes sense, right?
How did you do the QR? Where did you get the QR code, or is that something you can share?
That's crazy, dude. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I just used Chat GPT.
What?
I asked it first, I said, if I give you a URL, can you give me a QR code? He's like, yep, give me the URL,
Cool.
give you a QR code. And boom, boom, right there it was done, right?
And so then
Um,
you just take that and you put it in the PDF.
yep.
Boom,
Yep,
done.
PDF of your book or what have you, right? Now, what's really cool is like I'm doing less direct mail lately because I'm just really focusing in.
Hmm.
But you probably have Chat GPT say, I want to give you a list of URLs in an Excel file, right? Because
Hmm.
I want you to give me I want you to give me personalized QR codes for each one. And the reason why you do that is so you can track each person, right? Does that make sense?
Person. Yes. Wow.
Like right now you have to pay like QR Monkey or something like that. There's one called QR code, and there's a
Hmm.
monthly fee. But now you got Chat GPT. I think you just spit it out in a whole fucking file
Oh,
for you to give
wow.
you a personalized URL for each one, right?
Ooh,
With
that's
so I could give you like travissago.com/Tony, right? It
hmm.
would give me a QR code for that, right? So if I mailed
Hmm.
you a letter, I know you went to that. Does that
Uh-huh.
make sense?
Yeah. Wow, that's
Um,
crazy.
so I can track. So if I send out 1,000 letters, it,
Hmm.
you know, like 150 people go to the website. I'm not going to keep sending 1,000. I'm just sending it to the 150 people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
But
Wow.
QR codes have exploded. I remember the first time they talked about it, traffic conversions was like 2010. They're like, oh, this is going to take over the world. And 2025, it's finally
Finally
like
taken on. Yep.
finally taken off, but it's kind of interesting. But
Nice.
yeah, just chat GBT. You give it the URL.
Okay.
Um, uh, yeah, I think I had to do it with a dumber version. The research version, like the big honker that it's got in
Hmm.
there now, like it tried to tell me how to do it, right? But I knew it could do it because I asked it on my phone, right? So I just went
Yep.
into a dumber version. I said, "Here's the
Uh,
URL, right? Give me the
okay.
QR code." And bloop, there it is, right? And then I
I'm
just
gonna
put it
test
right in
that.
the book. And so
Okay.
now on my downloadable PDF, it's like I do some bullet points,
Mm,
community, right? Here's the
yeah.
QR code. I give them a link, a regular URL too, but I got the QR
Okay.
code in there too.
And that's at the end of the book or whatever, or
I got it in the front of the book
and
and I think in the middle and the end.
oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. All three. Yeah, that's good to know. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna do that with mine for sure. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Kind of the way to think about that is like just getting as many download areas. Remember at the event, we're talking about streams
Hmm.
and tapping in that like book's so easy to do,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to make that offer to here's the thing. When you make it to the community, it's already read the book, it goes even better, right?
Hmm.
So again, because it becomes this big flywheel asset,
Hmm.
right? Again, last time we did it, we had like dozens of people raise their hand, but I
Hmm.
fucked it up because I was trying to give them a tool first where they had to go and put their name and email in, and then like
Yeah.
they had to iframe it, and like I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but
Yeah.
everybody will say yes. Where it's going to fall apart, shit goes to a handbasket is when they have to pull it. So it's one of the reasons that give me your tech guy's email and I'll send
Yeah.
it to them. So I got another big guy in New Zealand I'm doing this with
Okay.
too. Probably could know who it is when I say New Zealand, um, but yeah.
That's
So all
awesome.
these places, right? And just getting their download areas, right?
Hmm.
This one now open up a conversation like, oh, could you do a class for my people? I'm like, let's give them the book first, and then we'll have a
Hmm.
better class to talk about, right? Because they'll
That's right.
understand the book,
That's right.
right? So
Brilliant. There's so many people I could do that with mine that are probably outside the thought of what I was thinking to begin with.
yeah. But here's the cool thing. So um, I don't know if I don't know what the hell I'm going to call them yet, but so I'm hiring people now for $50. If you get me in a download area and get me a snag it, I'll give you $50.
Ooh, nice.
Does that make sense? Would
Yep.
you pay $50 to be in somebody's download area
Yep.
for years? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd pay 50
Right.
bucks a month.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So um, now you got a really nice asset with what's your downside? $50. What's
Yeah.
your upside? Fuck. Right?
Infinite.
Like how would you not want to make that investment all the time, right?
I dig it.
And then I'll keep Leon busy with leads too, because Leon's setting up my licensing stuff now. So we're doing a 50-50 splits on that, right? Because I want it to be lucrative for him, right? I want it to be super lucrative for him. Leon's a really smart guy. He's a deal maker, right? I don't want somebody less smart than Leon because I get 90% and I'm only giving them 10%. That would be dumb, right?
So yeah, that's what I've been leading off with some conversations too, just not even talking about like the product or anything at all. It's just, hey, can I sponsor you? And just
Yep.
like we talked about last week or on our chat or whatever,
Yep.
just see like I haven't gotten a response. I've only got a small list I'm putting together, but it's like,
Yep.
boy, the response is way better than
Yep.
handing people money is a lot easier
Yep.
conversation to say, hey, buy my crap.
Yeah. The thing I'm working on right now, the royalty income vending machine, Rhythm. It's like rhythm, but you can't say your T yet. It's Rhythm, right? Um, but it's basically that. To get product, right? You guys are kind of getting the first thing. If you think about a vending machine business, like so easy. Like there was kids that used to run in Arkansas that had those mechanical hand ones. There was a kid that run like 100 of these things, right? And he was just he would go put them in restaurants and truck stops and everything. But like the truck stop, the truck stop doesn't pay 15 grand for the machine. They just make a deal, right? So you say, hey, and again, it's really like licensing. They don't just do it to make money. They do it like, why would a factory put in vending machines? Well, so everybody doesn't have to go out for lunch, right? To keep, and they don't want people like low on energy, right? So they do it for reasons other than the money, right? Right. But the vending machine business is very like what we're doing here, right? Like we need a traffic source, right? We need traffic, we need product to put in the vending machine, which we don't have to create either. And then we need the vending machine, which is our content, right? And obviously we'd prefer not to have to do the content either, right? Why go buy a brand new machine or build a brand new machine? We just take a machine and refurbish it for what we need, right? But a smaller machine, hey, why don't we try, right, a little machine first and see how it goes, right? Easier to put in there, right? But you're exactly right. Like, so you get product. Hey, could I pay, like they use big ticket email mojo? Um, could I pay you to put big ticket email mojo in front of high ticket coaches that are sick of being on the phone, right? People could be right now, but I'm going to answer, right? Right. Because that's exactly what I'm going for. So that's how you get product. And how you get distribution is kind of like what you're talking about, the kind of Shogun licensing method, right? Rather than you just say, hey, I'd like to sponsor. I'll leave it open, sponsor you. Can I pay to sponsor you? Because sponsor, you can sponsor anything, right? Does that make sense? Right.
Yeah, I
And
think the
but
way
yeah, those conversations open up way better. And there's 101 ways you can pay somebody. You can pay them a flat fee up front. You can pay them referral. You can pay them like all different kinds of ways. But yeah, you're right. And so now you've got your product and you got your distribution. Now you just have enough margin on there, right? To where you don't have to do all the work. Does that make sense? Right? On that. So you want to be able to have somebody stock your candy machine and take the money, right? And those kind of things. So the beautiful thing is what people still don't realize is basically we have the best vending machine in the world, right? Um, it doesn't cost us any money to stock it, right? We can put it in other people's flow. It doesn't cost us a lot to put the vending, but it doesn't if you want to buy I think the last time I looked at Coke machines or whatever, they're like 9 or 10 grand a piece for refurbished ones, right? We don't have that expense, right? So we just we put our book or whatever the vending machine is, right? In their flow. But you're exactly right. I don't know why I didn't see this before, right? But you just you switch every offer around to let, can I pay you? Can I pay you? And god damn, does that make a world of difference, right?
Yeah, I was on a call with the guys. I was talking and trying to see if I could make sense to get STM in their flow, and I kind of played it down. I'm like, yeah, this kind of sounds like it doesn't really fit. And I said, I want to make sure it works for your people, and you guys would make the majority of money. But it seems like you're kind of teaching things that don't align with this, so I wouldn't want to do it.
Right.
So he turned it around on me, and he's like, well, no, I don't see why this wouldn't work because this is totally different, blah blah blah. But he just couldn't understand, like, why are you guys, why would you even do this? Like, why would you give me the money and give me the thing? And I just flat out told him, I'm like, well, because we want the buyers. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
like
Yeah, I figure if we give them that, like you make most of the money, right? Um, your people get this problem solved that they need solved. I don't say it like that. I say whatever the problem is, right? Um, and then I get a future buyer, right? Is what I'm really here for, right? I'm just trying to, uh, I don't want to give 100% on everything because I have costs and stuff in there, right? So I like to liquidate some of my upfront, but I'm just trying to get people that are happy with me, right? And they used to call licensing the poor man's advertising, right? It was poor man's advertising, right? Which is really what it is, right? It's not poor man's, but it's like the best advertising you could do. Like, then it's cool if we like if we remember I was telling you if you're uncertain, hey, if you guys want to, I'll just give you 30 days royalty free. You see how your people like it, go through it, right? People are getting results right away, but I know me telling you that is different than you experiencing it, right? Those kind of things. Yeah, but yeah, you handled this right. Like, hey, I had the same situation. Um, they were teaching paid ads, and Shogun traffic method would make them look bad. Because they're like, hey, this is the way you do it. But you go to Facebook and you buy the paid ads, right? And I'm coming there and showing them like a way that you do it for a tenth of the cost. They're like, oh fuck, they're gonna do that and not this, right? So yeah, there's things that can totally right be outside of that, right? But then you can always say, like, so once people take your Facebook ads course, what are some of the things that they send you emails about or have support requests on that, right? And then because how I can't make this traffic convert, like it's not converting, right? Like, are they selling big ticket stuff? Yeah, how are they selling it right now? Well, they're selling it on the phone. Do they ever complain about people aren't showing up and they get a lot of, let me think about, yeah, right. How are you helping them with that, right? And so you can open up stuff for other conversations there.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Talking about like downloads and getting licensing in the download area. Um, that has me very interested.
Yeah.
If if we were to like do some phone the sales machine or big ticket email mojo in
Yeah.
someone's uh download area, I'm confident that I could probably find, like I know that I could find a whole bunch of download areas, and then doing the whole sponsorship thing is a
Yeah.
fantastic way to get in there.
Yeah.
What exact like just for my brain, like what does that funnel look like? It's probably like a banner or sign up here or whatever. Then does that go
Yeah.
to a sales
I
page? Like
yeah, I
what
try not
like
to I really don't. So there's a difference between saying, hey, you can sell this, and then like, oh, I'm gonna do a campaign on it and a promotion. I'm not against that, but that's not really what I'm because now I'm gonna have to help them with the marketing and they're out about that, right? And it's gonna be a
yeah.
one and done kind of thing. What I want, and like I just gave Leon a lead, is somebody that wants to put in their upsell flow, right? Okay, great. Like how many things are you selling, right, every week, right? I'm selling 200, right? So are you getting like 200 people that can see this? Yes, right? Because the upsell is going to be way smaller. They're already in motion, right? One of
Yeah.
the things that I try to pound in, pound in, pound in, pound in is the idea of flow, right? I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care if you've just been to prison. I don't care if you put a leaf in one side of the river and it's flowing, you drop a leaf in there, right? Is it going to move downstream?
Yep.
Yes. It doesn't matter your fucking credentials. You could have just got out of prison. You could be, right? I want to get it in flow, right? It's a huge, like, understand if you understand like Newton's laws of motion and physics, like you can understand money, but most people don't look at it like that. It's all when I say energy, when people up here say energy, like I think of law of attraction or chakras. No, it's like something in motion tends to stay in motion. Something at rest tends to stay at rest, right? Um, you an action has an opposite and equal reaction, right? If I make one type of offer, right? Is this happening with Tony, right? Like, oh, with the newsletters, like, yeah, get an operator, right? And some people are like, yeah, that's awesome. And some people are like, I don't want an operator, right? Boom, is equal and opposite reaction, right? When I did a bunch of live events for Big Ticket Email Mojo, I would have scores of people like, hey, are you ever going to do a virtual on that, right? And the day I opened up the virtual, I still remember this. Like, I opened it up on my first cup of coffee. By lunch, I'd sold out 20 spots for 6K a piece because there was that much pent up demand there, right? So understanding Newton's laws and physics laws. So this is my long-winded way, David, of saying, I want to do as little funnel as possible, right? Um, so it depends on what that flow looks like and where it's going, right? So if they're saying, hey, I show people how to run ads, right? And so they're getting all these ads, but they're only converting a few of them because people aren't showing up, right? I don't say get big ticket email mojo, right? Again, it's sticking with their problem. Like, do you think people want to get on sales calls? Could that be part of it? Yeah, that could probably be part. They really don't want to get on sales calls. Do you think if you just made an offer and asked them to DM you, you'd get a lot more people coming in and your people could convert more? Yes, right? So you're diagnosing, right? Then you will probably need phoneless sales machine. So how do you put that in your upsell? Just like it's again, just Rudolph's story. Like, hey, so happy you came in. We're show you how to run Facebook ads, get you lots of sales calls. But let's face it, 50% of the people are never going to come on the call, right? Like it's just, does that make sense? So what can you do? Well, we've partnered up with Travis, right? And he shows you how to use nothing but email, right? To get those people, right, that don't show up, or they say not right now, right, or those kind of things. It's called Big Ticket Email Mojo. No, Travis sold Big Ticket Email Mojo for $6,000, right? But as a special offer for you today, if you want to grab it today, it's $1,000 or $500. Does that make sense? So that's your whole funnel, but it works because they're already in flow. Does that make sense, right? Even better is if you say, hey, we're going to give it to them, right? How many people do you have going through every month, right? Well, we got 100 people going through every month, right? Well, easiest thing would be just to rent it to you. What would work for you? Shut the fuck up. Well, man, like if I could just pay you like 1,000 a month, that'd be great. Okay, well, I think we could probably make that work, right? Like if I don't have to punch any buttons on my side, right? And so we're negotiating for other stuff, right? Does that make sense? Right? We'll just put it in your download area, and the way that it would work is they'll click a link, right? They'll go over to my Kajabi cart. They'll just put their name and their email in, right? And they'll get access over from my side. That way you don't have to touch anything. I don't have to touch anything, right? And it's super easy, right? Does that make sense? I've got licensing deals where I get paid per member that they have in there, right? So, it's continuous content like Beamer. I've got deals where they've got 30 people in their mastermind and I get $100 a month, right? For everybody that they have in their mastermind. So I get $3,000 a month, right? They just keep it in there because they keep using it. Does that make sense? But they're charging way more than, right? So what are you charging per month, right? So you can kind of see where it makes sense. Now, they don't want to go create the whole Beamer thing and they don't want to rip me off and all these kind of things. Does that make sense? So that's even easier. There's no funnel. They do all the selling for it, right? Teaching licenses are great, right? So you can say, hey, you can have the IP, right? You can keep it as it is, or you can teach it, right? Somebody was talking about wanting to teach the 5 Ps, right? So basically, just like I'm creating a teaching license out of the book, right? Does that make sense? I would like to teach the 5 Ps. It's a big thing. People want to teach, but they don't necessarily want to teach something that they've come up with. Does that make sense? So I want them to come up with the funnel, right? But the easiest thing is to keep something that's already moving. It's a big, huge principle of creating Marilyn Monroe money. If you want to create Marilyn Monroe money, you want you want something to be moving other than you. Does that make sense? So we want the shortest possible funnel, and the way we do that is getting into a flow that's already moving. Now, it could be in weird spots. Like I got some of my own that I got to be doing, but like all these newsletters, when somebody upgrades the paid, you should see some of the welcome emails. They're terrible. You could rent a spot right in the welcome email, right? And think of this, like if you gave them a really good bonus that helped people upgrade, right? Hey, what if I gave you big ticket email mojo, right? As an upgrade, if they go annual with you or they go founder with you, right? If we go founder for 300, right? What would make it dreamy for you to license that, right? So you can put it on there and deliver that. Man, I'd be happy to give you 10%. So $30 of every sale. Yeah, let's do it. Does that make sense? Now all they got to do is put, hey, now you get big ticket email mojo. They put a little blurb on their welcome email, right? That little blurb, it's like, hey, great, here's how you get big ticket email mojo, right? Like, and they go over. Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
good
So
question. But I want to do it. So the faster, the more quality, right? Yes, you can have prospect flow, but I'd much rather have buyer
I'd
flow.
I'd be looking at people that are doing like launches in real time and guys that already have stuff going and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. And I
yeah,
know a whole bunch of places to
yeah,
find those guys.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I was just trying to like think of like because if I approach them, I got to have like a plan, right? So tell
Well,
them,
who says you have to have a plan ready? To me, that sounds white knuckly. I gotta have this perfect plan. I hate that shit. Like
okay,
dude, I just want to see like what you're doing, what problem your people are having, right? I don't I'm like a doctor. I don't know where to look until we figure out where the problem is, right? Maybe there's no problem. I know you run a great business, right? There being nothing that your people need help with, right? So I'm trying to take it negative, right? But even if I go to Apple, they're like, yeah, well, these things break. Everybody's complaining about having to charge them. That doesn't charge long enough, or blah blah blah. Right? There's always an upgrade that can be done. Does that make sense? But I know this is a different mindset. Is to get rid of all the plans. It makes doing business so much easier, right? What you do now, do research on them, right? That's where I win people over because I do research. Hey, I read your book. They're like, what? And then I start talking about stuff they talk about in their book. They're just blown away. They are not fucking blown away when I start telling them how great my shit is and what plans I have for them. They are not fucking blown away by that. What they're blown away by is I've taken the time to look at their stuff, right? That's what blows them away. They're like, holy crap. I was watching your YouTube video, right? You said blah, 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 right? And I've already know their principles. If that's where I do my homework at is in their world, right? Hey, did I have this right? Like one of the reasons why you're so successful in the real estate market, in the wholesale market, is because you do something called reverse wholesaling, where you go out and find the cash buyer first, and you already have a cash buyer, and you're just shopping for them. And they're like, fuck, yeah, that's exactly right. Does that make sense? Like, hey, it's glad we got on Zoom today because boy, do I have a plan for you. And you better do it because otherwise you're dumb. Right? I think it's a really good plan. No, what they want to hear is they want to have that doctor with the bedside manner, right? Maybe it's already done. Hey, I was looking at your case files. If you're walking to a doctor and they're like, so what are you here for today? And you're like, fuck, I just spent half an hour talking to your assistant, going over all this. Hey, what it brings you in? Like, God damn it. Right. I know because I got tired of that at the hospital with Jeannie there, right? Doctor was like, so what seems to be the problem? There's a fucking file right there. Right? Does that make sense? I didn't give a fuck what school they went to. I didn't give a fuck like what their credentials were. Like, are they coming in? Oh, so this must be Miss Jeannie Martin. I see she's having this and then this, and this started over there. I'm like, oh fuck, this is my guy. This is my guy right here. Does that make sense? The funny thing is, any person without a college degree could do that shit, whether they went to medical school or not. They just read the fucking file. It's all out there, right? I know I'm not angry, by the way. I get off on my things. I want it to stick, right? Does that make sense, right? Life is so much simpler than we give it credit for. Like, we don't need half the shit that we think that we need. I probably do. We don't need 90% of the shit that we think that we need, right?
Okay, sweet. So go in, find, diagnose,
Yep.
see if it's like useful for their people essentially,
Yep.
and then get it in some upsell flow.
Yeah. Ask them about their people. Like maybe you want to try to place a vending machine in a factory, right?
Mhm.
Like, hey, and people are even okay with bumbly questions as long as it's focused on them. Like, hey, I understand you have like 1,000 workers here. Yeah. And you guys are all working on IC chips and stuff. Yeah. Like, is there a lot of soldering going on? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Is that their mouths are a taste of lead and stuff? Well, we wear masks and stuff. Right. Oh, okay. I bet that filters some of the air and they get thirsty. Oh, yeah. Right. Like, how are you guys handling the thirst problem now? Well, they got to go down to the cafeteria. Right. Well, that doesn't sound bad. Like, just go down to the cafeteria. Well, yeah, but sometimes we only give them like 15-minute breaks by the time they get out of the cafeteria and sit down in the line, right? Does that make sense? So you're just asking about them, right? Like, well, what if they had a soda machine right outside the factory? They wouldn't have to go anywhere. They just go to the soda machine. Well, that might be okay, but like, we're a very health conscious company over here. Okay, tell me about that. Well, like, we really don't want them drinking sodas and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, like, what kind of things would you like to see them drink? Right. Well, we really like water, and Kabuka tea is okay. Right. Does that make sense? All right. Is there any kind of snacks that you like? Oh, we'd really like to have some fresh fruit. Right. Does that make sense? Right. So we're not trying to sell them on our whiz bang soda machine 3000, motherfucker. Right. Like, and then what if we had a way? What if we had a way to say, the problem with a lot of soda machines or a lot of vending machines is that they got to put their money in there, right? And they kind of know that everybody's making money off of them. What if we put the machine in there, but you just gave them tokens, right? You load them up on tokens, they can put tokens in there, and it didn't cost them any money, right? Would that be cool? Yeah, that'd be great, right? Um, and so we're gonna put a little box, right? And they just scan the phone QR code, right? And it'll token them up, and they can just put their phone in front of the vending machine, right? As long as they got tokens for it. Uh, Sodas, kombucha tea, and fruit, whatever they want, will come out up to a certain limit, and it's gonna make you look great because they're gonna feel like it's on the company. Like, hey, this is on the company, right? So again, what's those four things that every influencer wants, right? They want to solve problems for their people, want to look like a hero. They don't want to be a lot of work for them, and then maybe some compensation, right? Does that make sense? Right. But if we can somehow benefit from getting their names and stuff, like, bam, that's a fucking offer right there. Does that make sense? But it just all starts with, hey, good thing you're here today. Our Coke machines are the fastest vending Coke machines, and they're the quietest too. Like, you will never know that they're getting it's so quiet. And they're like, because they don't give a shit. Well, let us think about it. Well, okay.
I've got an idea I want to run by you, Travis, if it's okay.
Good.
It
I'm
just
just
occurred
rambling on, but hopefully it's useful to somebody here.
it just occurred to me while you were talking about what you're talking about. When we were doing Shogun Traffic Method, we ran into an audience where it costs a lot of money to do a solo with them. They obviously sell ads. I think the example that we gave you was the
Yep.
guy that I'm talking about. We have a second tier affiliate for this offer where we'll get paid if so what if we just said, hey, we don't want to prevent your people from having this problem solved. How about we just give you the affiliate link? We just plug it into your newsletter, and then every time somebody buys, you get $1,000.
I would definitely try that, right? And you're a smart man because what you're seeing is you have price and you have terms, right? Um, so there's all kinds of terms that you can make. This is when you can master terms, like you master deal making. But what you're talking about is terms, right? So I love that. Like, I would use the nice guy negotiation along with the bottom dollar truth serum. So, just say they want, I just want $1,000 for one line, or I want $1,000 for 10 lines. Man, that's great, right? That's a super reasonable price given your reputation and the amount of, what we're seeing, the amount of subscribers and everything. You got the perfect market. Um, I don't know if your people are going to like me though. That's what kind of scares me. Are going to like what we put out there? So we're hoping for like a much smaller test, right? Let me start here. What's the least amount you could do this for, right? Where you wouldn't, you know, come try to find my grave after I'm dead and spit on it, right? Or at least you wouldn't hate me, right? And just see where they go from there. Like you never know, right? Well, I guess, to give you a try, we could um I would give you 50% off, right? We do 500. And then, man, thank you so much for trying to work with me here. I really want to find a way to make this work, but like, and then you just like the most I could do on a test or with this budget that I have is like $200. Like, I know that probably you think you're already wadding up your mouth trying to get a spit going, right? Could we do something? Like, could we get a smaller ad? Like, is there anything that we could get for 200, right? And maybe there's like, no, well, so 500, right? Is your thing. What if we paid the 500 a different way? Like I can do 200 right now, right? But can we make up, like, we're going to put a link in there, right? And could we, could I pay your regular rate of 1,000 but with 200 down and then the rest we'll just give you an affiliate commission? And gosh, that might make it hard for me. Why don't I just give you 50%, right? We're selling this for 10 grand. If one person buys it, right, you'd make 5 grand or whatever it is. I don't know if that would work for you, man. But like I would like to advertise with you all the time if we can make this work, right? Would that be would that I don't want to offend you, right? Would that be offensive to you to give something like that a try? Right? It's kind of like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then what's gonna happen though is they get on your side of the table, right? Instead of being across from each other, you've won a very big thing. Now you're on the same side of the table, right? Um, does that make sense? Right?
Yeah, I really like this because like there's probably so many ways to make a deal when you're just like,
Absolutely.
I guess there's
Yes.
no
Let me
deal.
hug
Like,
you.
'cause-
That's exactly what I want you guys to see, right? It's not
Yeah.
just like, oh, here's my rate card. Man, that's too much. Like,
yeah.
I could get it cheaper, right? That's the way everybody else, like, I don't know about that. Gosh, that seems really high to me, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
no way to do deals, right? Um, you want to your first goal is to get on the same side of the table, right? And then just the other creative stuff that you guys could do is like you could do a co-op with somebody else, right? Is there a way you could send all that traffic and do a co-op or something like that, right? Does that make sense? But yeah, you want to try to get the best deal you can, and it can be price or terms, right? Um, Sometimes you can barter stuff. Like, hey, is there anything that you're needing done, right? I would say like, because if you make them, they're going to say no, right? But you can be really specific with it, right? Like I notice X or Y, right? If I think I have somebody that could do that, could we trade somebody? You'd be open for the first thing, you're just trying to see what they're open to, right? And
Mhm.
then go make that deal from there, right?
Yeah,
Now,
because this guy wanted, I think his bulk was $1,800 for one solo, and
yeah,
But it was like it had a bunch of stuff included. He has
yeah,
got like a Facebook group with 75,000 people. He's got a
yeah, that's
forum. He's
great.
got a
All those things
newsletter.
you can just say, hey, can we just try a test smaller, right? You got all these things. I think those are great. I think you have a very comprehensive package. And gosh, I can see myself doing that one
Yeah.
day. Right now, I'm just trying to test this out, right? One of the big things is like I told you in the DMs, right? But this guy's used to selling ads, and that's kind of not who we're really looking for. We're looking for
Yeah.
that guy. Um, like I showed you, like he doesn't sell any ads, right? And so he's just like, oh, well, what do we? His biggest thing, he's got to be in alignment. There is no perfect, right? So he's got to like look at this offer and be okay with it. Does that make sense? Before he's more into like, hey, it's not so much about the money that I'm making. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But those are the ones you're gonna make the really good deals on. It's like I always used to joke with Jeannie. It's like this is back when I was buying banners, right? So hey, can I pay you money to put a banner on your site, right? And I was on Skype, like negotiating with this guy, and I can't remember her name, but he's like, "Hey, Margaret, this guy wants to put a banner on our site," right? Like he's talking to his wife, like they're so tickled by it. Somebody wanted to buy a banner right on there, right? Like, and so I just make steal of deals because like he's like, I don't like didn't even know what to charge for. I'm just like,
I
what would make sense to you, right? You're gonna have to copy and paste this banner code and get your web page guy to put it on there. It's like, no, I do all my web page stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that, no problem. Like, then it's just a matter of getting the first one on there and seeing how it works. And again, if it works, you never say, man, that crushed it for us, right? Like, hey, it was pretty okay. If I could advertise with you for 3 months, what could you do? Right?
Mhm.
Like, and you'd be surprised how much they'll drop to get that. Again, this is where you have to understand how people think about money.
Yeah.
Money tomorrow is worth more to them, right? So it makes you can get really good fucking deals if you're a little bit longer term on how you do it, right? Um, does that make sense? So, uh,
I think like one of the things that we're finding so far, we haven't gone through our whole list or anything, but we've gone through a good chunk of it, is that like the newsletter owners in e-com space are pretty savvy.
They're business guys. That's what I was telling Ryan the other day. I was like, I
Yeah.
think these guys are just like business
It's
guys,
like
and
they're
they like one guy had like a list of like 1,800 people, and he wanted like $250 for a solo.
well, why is that like no deal for you guys?
I don't know. It just seemed expensive, but he didn't have any click-through
You guys are
rates.
trying
So
to
like,
figure it out before you do it,
yeah,
right? And please stop doing that. Now, I'm not saying if you don't have the budget for it, right? That's a different story. But dude, a $250 ad to 100,000 person can just fucking tank. A $250 ad to 1,800 people. Again, it depends on who it is and all that kind of stuff. Can crush. And you
yeah, I
guys only
understand.
need like one sale, right? So
One thing I
this whole
did
thing is
notice,
really about running a test.
0 clicks. Like,
Yeah.
so it could be just exactly as you said. He's not sold anything, so
Yep.
there's no click-through rate data. So if we're the
Yep.
first person that he's clicking through, it could absolutely crush it. That is a potential.
That what it really is you got to look at what's the upside and the downside, right? And going into this like you don't know is much more powerful, right? In the long run than like, oh, this is going to work or this isn't going to work, right? I call it reality-based steering, right? We have to steer based off of reality and we have to be willing. Again, money's whatever, right? Your upside to this is like, what if it works? Right? and then you've just found this really valuable spot. Like, hey, I'm not saying not to try to negotiate or whatever, right? But don't come to a snap judgment that 1,800 people is too small, right? Um, look, I just, we do a lot of money out of Ronin in our groups, but there's only 500 people in Ronin. Like you could like, would you pay $250 for an ad in Ronin? Probably gonna do pretty good, right? Even though it's only 500 people. Does that make sense? Some of these lists fucking crush, man. So like the size, like is it can be a big misleading thing on the size of it, right?
I actually wrote that
Something
down as like notes at the very beginning because
Yeah.
one of those
Um,
realizations you got to return to over and over again for it to really settle in.
I love my super smart people. I really do. But they're also my most challenging people because they live in their heads and they try to. My son is he's genius level IQ and he drives me fucking nuts because he's like, he thinks if I do A, these 5 things could happen. And then it's going to go here. And it's like this flow chart where the flow chart always comes back to think some more or this won't work. Right. Um, but it's all in your head. You're having imaginations about what's going to work and what's not going to work. Does that make sense? Right. You're just having imaginations about it and what it means about you and all these kind of different things. Right. Love them to death. But my really, really smart people have trouble setting aside. But I'm smart. I'm Einstein. Like, right? Like, I know better. I'm gonna make fun of you a little bit. 1,800 people, $250. Man, that ain't never gonna work. You don't know if it's gonna work or not, right? Like, the big thing is if you can afford 250, right? Now, a better thing to do is negotiate. It's almost nobody negotiates this. A
I got him to
makeup,
200, so
right? Or do
sorry.
a makeup like, hey, if we do this and we get like very few clicks or whatever, like, could we run something again? Would you like give us a little credit to where we can run something again? This is one of the things I do when I do my advertising, like it
Oh, that's good.
crushes. I'm like, hey, if we do this and it doesn't work, I'll run something else or we'll try something different. Does that make sense? Because again, I'm not after the money, I'm after the long-term customer. Does that make sense? Right? Um, when I used to run my vac stuff, I knew it was going to work for them, but they didn't know it was going to work, right? So I'm like, hey, if I run it for you all through this month, you keep track of all the coupons, right? How many coupons would you need back to be call this a win, right? And they're like, oh, if I could get 10 more orders a month, that would be amazing, right? Well, good. Like if you don't get 10 more orders this month, I will advertise with you. I'll send a solo out to the list if I have to get you 10 more orders. We got a deal, right? And then of course, the first month they'd get 20, right? They'd get 20 coupons back or whatever. Does that make sense?
That to
Right.
me sounds like what you were just saying about terms.
Right. It is just another term. So what you can do is you can negotiate a make good. They call them make goods in the industry, right? You don't want to act too polished and sophisticated, right? So I don't like to use all the jargon like I do a make good and CPM and like I would rather come off as let them feel like they're smarter than me, right? Does that make sense? Like, hey, if we ran this with you and like we just didn't get anything, we got poor results or whatever, right? Would you run it again for us? Just because, man, we're just getting started in this, right? And I know $250 doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot for us, right? So, and they'd be like, yeah, I'll run it, or we'll do this, or we'll add something again that, right? Again, it's about them getting on the same side of the table with you. That doesn't happen if you make them wrong, right? Um, if that makes sense, right?
something I've noticed doing these deals is that because I started off trying to get all that info as well and try to estimate my cost per customer, what I
Yeah.
found is like it's impossible because
Yes.
they'll give me like some click-through rate, but I don't know where it's coming from. Then they have like 4 different placements with 4 different costs. So which click-through rate is that? Because obviously there's a difference. And I just don't, I haven't gone back and forth with it. And where are their people located? Or, and there's all these different things.
Yeah.
I just gave up and just negotiate on price. And I love the make good thing. That I will definitely try.
Yeah.
But I just figured it's not really going to be possible to do what I originally thought I could do.
Yeah, smart man. I go look at what they got, and sometimes you'll see their subscription numbers, or like using Substack, Reletter will tell you roughly how many subscribers they have. But there's no amount of thinking that's going to tell you if that ad's going to work. Like there just isn't. Now what you can do is you can look at like, do they get any likes or clicks? Is there any comments, or is there anything you can look for those kind of things? Like you go into a Facebook group, you can tell which ones have some kind of activity. Like if there's 30,000 people and you look at all the posts and they only have like one like on them all, like there ain't much going on there, right? So I'm not saying not to look at those kind of things, right?
Yeah, a couple of these were the $1,800 one and the $1,000 one were actually off Substack. It was Ryan cracked away for nearly 2 days on,
Yeah.
on a ChatGPT list and going through it. And but one of them, like the $1,000 one and the $1,800 one, they're both like they got communities and all their
Yeah.
people allegedly are like they vet them and they're like 7-figure Amazon owners and they got stuff at
Yeah.
Walmart and Shopify and Amazon and all this kind of. So it's like it sounds expensive, but the person sounds exactly like they're not the newbie just trying to break even and do something.
Yeah.
These are like players
Yeah.
that would be, I think, that sound like would be a great fit. But as you said, you don't know anything
Yeah.
until you to fight.
It's really just about getting to where you're not going to shit your pants when you flip the coin. That's really all it is. You're just flipping the coin. You want to make sure you don't shit your pants and you flip the coin, right? And if it doesn't come up your way, right? And again, you can call it make good. You can say, hey, can we run it twice? If they say, oh, I can't do any more than I can't go any lower than 250, that totally makes sense. Would you be open to running it twice for me, right? For 250, right? There's all kinds of stuff you do. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because like 250 is a lot of money for our startup, right? For something not to work for it. I'm not going to say it's your fault or anything like that, but if it doesn't work for us, 250, I'm just trying to buy a little bit of insurance. Does that make sense, right? Is there anything you could do like that for us? Or I don't want to offend you at all because I know you spend a lot of time and have a lot of tender loving care going into this niche, right? So
we were thinking of I was bringing up some co-op ideas. I know I know there's a way, and I was thinking through it of like how to do it. So the most ideal, it seems, for co-ops is to have one person A sends with letter number 1, and then person B sends next month, person C sends the month after that, etc. Then just all group by it, and you get the discounted rate, etc. I was trying to think of how you could co-op like a single mailing, and then my idea would be it would have to be all like the same vertical, obviously, and like the call to action would just have to be like clickbaity or something, and then you just have like a rotating like, I don't know, like what
right?
what do
If
you
I
think?
was gonna buy an advertisement for this, right? PDF version, I can print different versions and put somebody else in here as a bonus chapter, and right. So again, the vending machine, like I'm not saying there isn't one, but the ATM machine is the only type of vending machine I know that only has one product. Right. So your content is the vending machine, right? So if you're giving away a report, right? If you're giving away a report on like, hey, who qualifies for grants, right? Why can't you put somebody else in that report, endorse them up a little bit, right? Or what have you? Does that make sense? It's kind of where the affiliate mindset Like most businesses out there, are like a vending machine trying to sell one product. Don't like don't like Mountain Dew, fuck you. It's Mountain Dew, right? And they go somewhere else, right? But if you have like a healthy option and you have, ooh, we have hot coffee. In Japan, they have a hot side and cold side. They have hot coffee on one side and you have cold coffee on the other, right? Kind of cool, right? But an affiliate that like says, hey, I'm going to be driving traffic. I've got this vending machine. I've got empty spots in the vending machine. Would you like a spot in the vending machine? Does that make sense? So you figure out what your vending machine is and you just put more spots in it, right? And I like this from an investment viewpoint because, and again, I've been an investor for a while. It's the thing that they don't talk about in any investment books. It's called return of capital. How fast do you get your capital back, right? How many books can I put out if it costs me $2,000 to put out a book with editor and all this graphics, and it costs me $2,000 to put it out, but I can sell a chapter for $5,000. I get my capital back. I can have the capital first, right? Does that make sense?
Can you break down the mechanics of how we would do that with what we're exactly doing so I can visualize it? Because I'm having a hard time visualizing what you're saying.
What would be your advertising budget if every time you advertise you made $1,000 before the ad would even run? What would be your ad budget?
Unlimited.
Infinite. That's what you guys got to figure out. Does that make sense? If you're getting an opt-in, why can't you sell? Excuse me. Something went down the wrong pipe there. Now I got a frog.
Gesundheit, or what have you.
So look at all the places your flow goes. So now you guys are starting a river, right? Look where that river goes.
So I'm gonna just explain our river for a second, just so I can
Yeah.
kind of visualize.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do like a T1 solo ad. Then that's gonna go to our thing that we're gonna collect their email. Then they're gonna go to Ishan's video.
Perfect. And then, so are you going to have a page, or is there something you're going to give away, or is it just going straight to Ishan's page?
Right now, it's straight to Sean's
Okay.
video thing.
Great, but you're collecting the email, right? Perfect. I know David knows this, but what's the highest open rate you're going to get on if you put together an autoresponder? What's the highest open rate typically you're going to get in an auto sequence? The very first email, right?
Very first email, yep.
Yep. So also think about what you can do in reverse now. So now you got to think in reverse, right? So if these guys are running Amazon businesses, what else are they interested in? Maybe they would be complementary to yours, right? Like maybe inventory loans, right? So maybe there's a company that does inventory loans because you guys are basically selling money. So they come in, they opt in, right? You say, hey, thanks so much. You've probably already seen the grant page, right? Here's some different stuff on that. But we know what you're probably looking for is money to expand your Amazon. We also want to give you this free report or ebook on how to get loans for your inventory, right? Why can't that be something you get paid? Hey, we're looking for somebody to sponsor our welcome email. We're the highest open email. We want to give away a PDF or a book or anything that you've got, right? Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah, cool.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I crushed it when so I did a keyword research service. So all the people in SEO wanted, what did they want? They wanted low competition keywords, right? So we would give them that. We would give them low competition keywords, And all we were doing was running some keyword research tools, right? Which cost me $99 a month. But we could sell it hundreds and thousands of times, right? So we would just deliver it by email. But one of the things that we knew was them getting the keyword research tool or the keywords, they would optimize for it, but then they didn't know what to say. Like if you like, here's a bunch of keywords on beekeeping, right? They didn't know beekeepers. Does that make sense? So their next thing was like, well, what can I sell to beekeepers? And what is it? Give me some tips on what these beekeepers want. And then so we would go get advertisers like, hey, you sell this beekeeping guide, or you sell this the beekeeping suits. Does that make sense? Would you like to sponsor? We have a keyword research service, right? And they're going to be SEOing stuff and getting you up in Google. Would you like to have that spot, right? And it just sold like hotcakes. Those kind of things. Does that make sense? So you have email one, and then like how many free books can you give away, guys? Like how many free books can you give away? Lots. Right? Why not just charge like, hey, we got this many people. We'd like now you've got your own advertising business. Does that make sense? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got that email, and then of course you're gonna send that traffic anywhere that you want to after you start getting it put together, right? Pretty soon you're going to have 100 people on your list, right? You say, hey, we got 100 people on our list. They're all looking for money to grow their business. I see you do inventory loans for them. Would you like to put on a webinar for our people, right? You can sponsor a webinar for, so you spent $250 on your recent ad. Would you do it? What would be an amount make it work great for you? Like what's your average deal, right? If we could put 10 or 15 people on a webinar for you, oh gosh, that'd be great. Does that make sense? Or you get a percentage of it or whatever it is. But one of the things you guys want to look at is we're never in the business that we think that we're in. You guys aren't in the grant business. You guys are in the money business. You're trying to get them money. Does that make sense? So that opens up your expansion, probably even more, and try to in the Amazon growth, how do I grow my Amazon store, right? So that opens up the whole world to you, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can say, oh, uh, I'm going to pay this guy $250, right? I'm going to get my $250 back this on ads. I'm not saying you can do that right away, right? But like, how much are you guys going to, even if you offset some of the costs, does that make sense? Right. Most people put their money in Bitcoin, and what do? They hope and they fucking pray. Right. Maybe they get their money back, maybe they don't. Right. I'm not just beating up on Bitcoin. People that buy dividend stocks. I don't think it's I think it's, you're getting a paycheck for it. But let's say you're getting a 10% dividend, right, which is very rare. But let's say you're getting a 10% dividend, you put 10 grand in. Without any growth, when are you getting your 10 grand back? In 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
That's too fucking long for me. Right? You want to figure out, how do I get my capital back really, like, the quicker you get your capital back, the faster you can reinvest it, right? You'll see guys like he used to be on Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, right? Like, that's not how am I gonna get my money back? How fast am I gonna get my money back? But that matters more than actually because if you get all your money back and you want to get your capital back and keep the asset. I know this just sounds like words, but it is shit to make you fucking rich. If you can figure out how to get your capital back and keep your asset, like, shit's going to grow real fast, right? So it doesn't matter what it is. If you figure out how to do your advertising, right, you get your capital back really fast, right? if you're only planning on one way to get it back, like you're hobbling yourself, right? If your only way to get it back is to sell the grant program, you're hobbling yourself, right? So figure out other monetization paths, right? Um, can we put it in
Okay.
a group? Can we sell other can we sell our own solo spots to it and be real strategic about who we're selling them to, right? Can we do it on a um kind of you guys have that you guys know how to pre-sell stuff, right? To me, it makes a lot more sense to get a part cut of the deal, right? Than sell eeny weeny ad spots. Does that make sense? Right.
Yeah, get a partnership deal.
That's right.
If you guys made like a little course that was kind of a webinar on the $10,000 a month thing, you could put it in my school group, my Booking Big Fish clients, and we could do a deal on that. I got about 500 people in there. They're all customers.
That's great.
And
Now,
then you
why
could do
would
that in
you?
all sorts of groups, you know?
That's right. I was asking you, why would you do that, Jordan? Why would you
Uh,
put it in the group and
I
not
think, well,
ask for
Mike,
any
I
money?
think it'd be cool for engagement in the community. I think it would help people. I mean, then I'd know they'd have some advertising money to spend. So maybe there's something
Right.
I could offer for that. I'm just spitballing
Ding,
here.
ding, ding, ding,
Um,
ding. This is one of the things I'm trying to tell you guys. Use near too, right? Who's going to benefit if this Amazon store sells a whole bunch more stuff? The wholesaler is going to benefit. Now, I know a lot of wholesalers are Chinese, so that might create a problem, right? But can you find American wholesalers? Those are some of the people that I would go to. I would go to your American wholesalers that are wholesaling stuff and say, do you think it would help your people if they had $10,000 a month, right? That they could advertise? Does that make sense? Oh my God, yes, right? Like Jordan was saying, if you got a webinar, we got a webinar or a training, we got a book to show them how to get $10,000 worth of grants. Would that be helpful? You just run to your opt-in page. Why not do it for free, right? Does that make sense? Right? Or you cut them for part of the profits. But if they have a built-in incentive, right, to do that, right? Like my radio station, they're just sitting with dead air at night, right? And like, oh, either we run these dumb public service ads, right? We know, our people are breaking up and getting back together and breaking up, right? Like, yeah, we'd much rather help them with that, right? And get some kind of revenue rather than just running these ads for free. Does that make sense? Right. But yeah, so there's all kinds of groups, right, that you could probably go to that have Amazon people. Why not? Hey, can we get in there for free? Right. I would start out, hey, can I give you a paid sponsorship? Right. But that doesn't be big, right? What we're really hoping to do is we're just getting this off the ground and everything, right? We're hoping to find a group of people that would really, really help you if they had $10,000 a month coming in, right? So I'd go find those American wholesalers and like, hey, we're looking for people like you that have people that are on Amazon that need some help getting money for advertising, right? Um, um, there's I've used this example a lot. I can't remember the bloke's name. He was a UK dude, but uh, he was a sales trainer. He trained people in sales, and he was really struggling, which is kind of funny. Like he was really struggling, and his best client were actually beauty salons. So he'd go into beauty salons, and he would show them, well, here's how you sell more product and everything. And then just by accident, he was at a gosh, it's gonna escape me now. I have to go look it up. But he's at a big, like all these beauty supply companies have big conventions, right? And he met up with the guy that ran one of these, the owner of like a shampoo company or whatever. And he's like, "What do you do?" Well, I train beauty salons on how to sell more product. He's like, "Holy crap!" Right? Like, do you train all my salons? I can't remember how many. Yeah, I've got all these salons, right? Like, and so he got their halo, right? Because it benefited him if the salon sold more, right? I'd come up with that as a old insurance sales guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's called NEAR, Naturally Existing Economic Relationship. So go find out who's going to benefit even more. Because you know who's making all the big money out there? It ain't the Amazon guys, it's the wholesalers. The wholesalers are the ones making the big ass money. Because they're
Yeah,
selling
we
to
could-
sellers.
we-
Most of
we
the
could-
Amazon guys are selling onesie twosie, right? They're really selling to Amazon, is who they're selling to, but that's their only customer, right? But
Mhm.
the wholesalers are the one that are affecting making money hand over fist, right?
I just thought of an angle with them is that like we're looking for mission driven Amazon sellers, and it's our mission to keep the wholesalers growing in America instead of sending them over to China.
I
And
love
so
it.
we want to get relationships.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Sweet. Okay.
Thanks, Jordan. That was a great brainstorm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks, Jordan.
I feel like I resonate a lot with David and Ryan, like you guys. I feel like we're going through a similar journey. So grateful to go along it with you.
Sweet.
I did have like a million things to ask about this week that I'm sure we won't get to all of them. I know it's kind of late.
We just go ahead and start rattling them off and we'll see what we do.
Well, I had an idea. It's kind of what inspired a little bit of that too, which was kind of a pitch for you, Travis, which is to adjust Hopper Millions to be like a school millions type course, like focus it in more on schools specifically,
Yeah.
and then offer it into school groups. And I don't know exactly how it'd work, whether we then have like our affiliate link, because I know in school, whatever the last affiliate link is that they click, that's who gets the commission. So it could either be for our link and then we pay them, or it could be their link and then they pay us.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's probably a lot of groups that are just too lazy to like try to make the most out of the affiliate and I'm talking about the regular school affiliate, like a build your own group affiliate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people who probably be like, yeah, if I can increase my affiliate revenue just by adding and add value to my community, why not? And get paid, why not?
Yeah. Are you talking about licensing some of my stuff to them, or?
Yeah, like basically the
Yeah.
idea would be to take License Hopper Millions, reformat it or tweak it
Yeah.
somehow to make it a
Yeah.
little bit more specific to school.
Yeah.
And then offer that, like kind of install that into people's groups.
Yeah. The training I just did, I don't know if you were on that one. The third call I just did for Serve No Master. I talked about how to put your first 100 people into your school group. I think it'd be really, really
No, I
good.
need that for me.
Yeah. I don't know if you got S&M. Drop me a DM and I'll send you a link to that training, because that's something you could license out pretty easy. I don't know how much. We have our own language and everything, so I don't know how much in there would need to be modified so everybody understood it,
Right.
We're gonna, speaking of that, like I'm making sure to work with Antonio so that it's transferable to somewhere
Yeah.
else. So
Yeah.
like at the beginning of the manual, we're gonna introduce you to them like they don't know who you are.
That's awesome, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
But Serve
Yeah,
No Master, I was there at the live. I was there. I mean, I lived it.
Yeah, but this is we did a third call on.
Oh no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just did one. It was a third call, how to put your first 100 people in your school group. So I think that might be.
It's even better than Hopper Millions, I think, because it's
Yeah.
much more comprehensive.
Hopper Millions people either love it or they fucking hate it. My super deep principal people, and I kind of did it on the fly, and I never modified it out. But yeah, I think the interesting thing is like the stuff that are really interesting is like 24-hour auction, fun auction, right? The auction and the 6-figure pull tabbing, but that means they already have a group that's existing, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
most of the time. Most
Yeah.
people aren't, even though it's a great idea, most people aren't going to start a school group just to do an auction, right? I think it's a great idea, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Here's little Travis thinking, right? I haven't tested it, but I don't think people are gonna like, oh, I'm gonna throw together a school group so I can run an auction, right? But I definitely,
I think
I'll
to
send
get
you a
your
link.
first 100 members is way better.
Yeah.
It's just super,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you can wrap your mind around it as a newbie.
that's right. And it works amazing too. I don't know what I keep
Insight,
having
man.
frogs jump in my throat. But yeah, that's cool.
All right, cool. I'll ping you about that. I had another idea. This one's a little bit more far out, but maybe fun for brainstorming, which is what about a website where people could spend Mojo Bucks, where like they log in and they can see their Mojo Bucks, then it's got a bunch of your stuff to buy.
Yeah,
And we try to
that's a hell of a great idea, but I don't want all the complexity.
how do you track Mojo Bucks down?
I don't. I just know what products that we gave them with, and then so I tell them to track them themselves, right?
Right.
And usually I'm just like, I know they don't have any more than 300 Mojo Bucks out at any time. So a lot of times, like, I don't know how many Mojo Bucks I got. Oh, we'll just give you 300. How's that? Okay, works good.
I'm trying to think if there's like some super simple solution, which is like they can type in
Yeah.
how many Mojo Bucks they've got, and
They're probably
might be
is,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next thing I wanted to ask about is my group, really both my groups. I mean, both my groups, but especially the new group. I just like I put in a bunch of friends, then I just did some cross promo. I got like almost 20 people now,
Yeah.
but no one's really talking, and it's kind of like I'm doing this 1 hour to 1K challenge, but like that's all about me, So I'm struggling to get people,
Yeah.
cooking in this hopper. It's cold in there.
Yeah.
And I think, maybe the newsletter ads, which will start going out later this week, maybe that'll help. But that's my challenge with it now, just feeling like, oh, does anyone care about any of this?
Um, it's perfectly normal. Um, the
That was a little Jordan, I guess, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So you just have to try different stuff, right? This is part of what you're doing, right? You're just trying different stuff, right? Until now, obviously, you want to listen as much as you can and observe, right? But you just try different stuff and you try different angles, right? And then it's always like ding, 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 right? Like people start paying attention. But part of what you can do too is like you got 20 people in there, so you make it super intimate. You can either DM them or say, hey, let's get together. Let's just do uh, Tech Renegade Town Hall, right? You just hang out together, right? Maybe 2 people show up or 3 people show up. But one of the things you can do is like, hey, I'm running this 1K and what'd you call it? The 1K and the
1 hour to 1K challenge.
yeah. And like nobody's participating. Like, is it because you're too busy or I suck or does that make sense? Like,
Yeah. I mean,
if
I've
they
kind
say
of
that,
presented it as it's a challenge to me rather than like, I said,
oh,
you can join along with. I have
they're
said you
watching
can join
you,
with me
yeah.
if you want, but no one's bothered. I think people don't really, it's still so abstract, so like
Yeah.
they don't really know what they'd be signing on for.
Yeah. So I would just keep doing it, dude. And I mean, you got 20 people and at the end you'll have some content in there or whatever, right? But I'd get feedback like, hey, how come I wouldn't call them out in public like, hey, I'm hoping somebody will join in with me. Like, what stops you from joining in? Like, is it too much family stuff or too much work? Like, what would make it, I can't imagine that nobody else wants 1K, right? Like, does that make sense? So it's a lot of Columbo, Jordan. I think I don't know if that'll be comfortable for you or not, because I can tell you're a super smart guy. You're pretty well put together, right? And so you got to be okay with shit falling out of a sock.
I mean, it's not easy, but I'm working on it, man. I'm really
Yeah.
working hard on it.
Yeah, and
So
you just
yeah,
got to be
that's
like,
part of the
hey,
idea is to practice
yeah.
that.
And so you go to them and exactly like you're telling me, like, hey, like, uh, I don't feel like you guys are really into this, right? Sometimes it's hard out in public. So that's what I'm saying, to like maybe do some DMs or whatever. I feel like you guys are really into this. But what they're really telling you is like they don't have that present pain. Whatever the present pain is, like maybe we're just too like, what is that thing that they're wanting to do right now, right? What's that thing? It's usually a smaller. You see, making $1,000 in however many days or whatever. That's a pretty big thing. Like, what's something smaller, right? That they get excited about. Like my little thing today, I did that little post in Ronin about the royalty income vending machine, right? I'm like, hey, like uh here's what you send them. I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you to do this to 5 people and not get a response back, right? If I don't get anybody following me, I won't do it. Does that make sense? And then people are already in there like, oh yeah, like I did it already. 5 people. Oh, I already got a response. Does that make sense? So you got to give them something that they can do. I call this my fans and fortunes formula, right? The free stuff, you want them like if it takes longer than 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they're not going to do it, right? My paid stuff, I try to figure out what could they do in an hour, right? Um, and I'm not saying they have to do it in an hour, like phone the sales machine. Somebody could write a T1 and send it out in an hour. Almost nobody does, right? Because for me, it's easy, right? But like, what could I show somebody they could do in an hour? And if they did it, they would get a small but meaningful result. That's my front end offer a lot of times. So, phone the sales machine right now is 2,900, right? On the, but they can go do that. I know that if I can get them to send out that first T1, motherfucking T1, right, they're going to get some responses back, and that motivates them to do something else. Does that make sense? So the big thing probably is you're taking too big of a step, right? I'm not saying to stop what you're doing, but help them on the smaller steps. Does that make sense? Or find out what they need help with on the smaller steps.
Yeah, where I get stuck is like I don't even know. Like right now it's kind of like I got this
Ask
velocity
them.
and no, but I
Ask
don't even
them.
know what I don't know the answer. Like I'm not an expert on this. I'm like I'm learning from you. I'm
Good.
learning from this group.
That actually helps you if you're not the expert on it.
So I don't know what small thing. I mean, I still don't really know, right, what the things that they've told me in my conversations are like. They're just, they feel like they always have to do the work that their boss wants if they're employed. They'd like to build something that belongs to. I mean, they don't really. Most of these people are not
Okay,
really.
cool. So they want to build something that belongs to them. What do you think is the very first step? Right?
Uh,
Because that's where you're skipping. You're skipping all those steps. And here's how simple it can be. I'm not saying it's going to be simple for you, but um, uh, I hope like some of my stock guys, you showed newbies how to trade penny stock options, right? And so he would try to show them, okay, here's the penny stocks you want to go after, and blah 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 blah. And I said, do this, do a poll in there, and see how many people actually have an account even open. How many of them have it at the time? E-Trade was really popular, but there's all kinds, Charles Schwab, Fidelity. But see how many people even have an account open. Jordan, you know how many people are on his list that actually had an account open?
no.
Less than 30% actually had a fucking account open. So what we did is we ended up like, hey, how come you haven't opened up an account? Well, they ask you all these hard questions. And I know we need to be like option. We got to get because there are different levels. We need to be, either show we're accredited invest, no, not accredited, but certain level, and we just don't know how to answer all those questions. So guess all you had to do? Here's how to open up your E-Trade account. Here's how to get option certified. Fucking crashed, right? Here's how to do some paper trading. Don't trade with your real money. Paper trade first. Does that make sense? So it's the same thing with writing a book. Like if you go in and say, hey, I'm not trying to beat up on you. But if you say, hey, I'm going to write a book and see if I can make money in the first 30 days, right? They might want to do it, but where they're getting hung up as, dude, I don't even know what to fucking write the book on. Like, what should I write the book on? Like, what idea should I have? Right? And so that's the first thing. What would I even write a book on? We kind of gloss and skip over
Right.
all those steps, right? I'm just sharing one more example with you because it's such a thing. I had a high ticket course. This is back in 2013. It's called the 6-week service business. And basically what we do is show them how to start up a high ticket service business, have somebody do the work, and then just go bring them deals, right? Basically being a broker of that. We made a bunch of mistakes, but here's just one of them so that we figured out. The first thing is like, we told them to do something they were passionate about, right? Or find a niche that they were passionate about. For guys like us, that's pretty fucking easy. But I'll never forget this. I can't remember which Dakota he was from, but his name was Bradley Buller. He was a cowboy, a real fucking cowboy. And he's like, Travis, like, I don't know. He's like, I'm on the farm all day. And I know some internet stuff. I like to put up blogs. But beyond that, like, I don't know. And we're like, okay. Like, well, tell us I call this the uncomfortable dance, right? Like we're going back and forth and like, what do you do on vacation, Bradley? He's like, oh, I take my family. We've been to like 12 dude ranches in the US. I'm like, are those cheap? Like, so we're trying to get them high transactions. Like, no, like you can drop 10 grand real easy there, right? And so we just did some Googling. We're like, I can't remember how many there are, but did you know there's like 1,300 dude ranches right here in the US? He's like, no. And I'm like, who do you think they're going to respond to better? Somebody from New York calling them up, like, hey, this is Phil McEastern, right? My Harvard degree. I'm going to help you put up a blog, right? Or Bradley Buller calling him, right? Like, why couldn't you help put up blogs for the dude ranches? He's like, oh my God, dude. Oh, that's a fuck. That's the best. Oh my God, right? The trouble is we'd already sold them into the program, right? It's not trouble, but the breakthrough we had. But it worked so well. I could go do other ones like woman in the wine industry. I was struggling with a guy. His name was Roger, and we were doing this uncomfortable dance, and we were on Skype. And finally, I just looked at a Skype picture, and he was in front of a little turboprop plane. I'm like, tell me about that plane, because I was lost. I'm like, I don't know how to help this guy. I'm like, tell me about that plane. He said, oh yeah, I got my pilot's license. Like, took me this many hours, and he just lit the fuck up, right? And so we Googled like, how many flight schools are there in the U.S.? There's a fucking ton of them, right? But he got motivated then, right? So it was so powerful. What we ended up doing is we made that the sales presentation, right? Hey, don't buy. Let's see if we can figure out something you're passionate about that you could do a high ticket service business on. Jordan, as soon as they figured it out, they're like, fuck. And they give us that money right away. And we shortened like 4 weeks. It was supposed to be a 6-week service, but they'd spend 4 weeks of it trying to figure out what business to get into. Does that make sense?
I spent 4 years doing that. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
And now they're ready to rock and roll. They had a path, right? Does that make sense? And it's because we were skipping all those steps, right? So if it's like, oh, I'd like to get a side gig, or doing my own thing away from the job, like, well, what is that going to look like? Like, how do you help them with that, right? That could be the first thing, right? How do you help them get something going, right? Maybe it's just maybe they're thinking, just get a small project going. You don't need to do the multi-billion-dollar company right away. Why don't you just get a project going, sell it to a small group, what they call that, micro software or micro SaaS now or something or whatever,
Yeah,
you know.
Microsoft, yeah.
But some very one problem, one solution type of thing that you could put together real quick and see, or even see if they would buy it first, right? Does that make sense? And see if people would be interested in it.
It does, but it kind of makes me question my overall I don't know. It's like I need to figure out what my like. It's very vague already. Like, is this digital assets and revenue streams? So the possibility space is so much bigger than like what you're describing. And in this challenge, I'm figuring out what so I don't know. I feel like I need to figure out my approach before I can
Well,
help.
you just share that with them. Hey guys, if you're like anything like me, like the first thing we got to figure out is what approach we're going to take. And this is part of the reason why. But you're talking about I'm focused on the $1,000, not the present challenges that you have now. Does that make sense?
Yes, that clicked. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Thank you.
So if they for more aligned, like, hey, dude, that's the same exact shit I'm going through. I'm like, there's all these possibilities. Which one do we pick? And this is where I'm at too, right? And so I'm going to show you. I'm just going to start moving. I'm going to start doing some things, right? And I don't know how it's going to go, but this is the goal. It's not even so much about the $1,000. Like I'm just going. It's not so much about the $1,000 as me finding, right? What's that first product I'm going to do and get behind or validate or something like that? Does that make sense? So you're trying to show them a path 3 spaces in front of you when you just need to show them the path that you're on. Does that make sense?
It does. I made a post today that's along those lines, but I don't think I couched it in the way that you're describing that'll help them connect it to their own situation. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can even say like, "Hey, I've been doing this for a while, away from the corporate, right? And I'm still struggling with it, right? Like, which path do I pick? What do I do, right? Are you guys having any of those? Like, what do I do?" And that's probably the big like first thing is I got to pick a path, right? Does that make sense? And so,
the one person who is engaging is like asking questions about their own ideas. Like, I'm thinking of doing this or this or this.
That's it. Hey, let's all get together and brainstorm some ideas and see if we can all help each other out, right? I'm having a challenge with it too. Why don't we have a renegade town hall, right? Or renegade, whatever you want to call it, right? We all help each other brainstorm, look at, because sometimes you can see somebody else's talent and they can't see it, right?
I do have it actually in 13 minutes, Renegade Coffee Hour.
That's beautiful, dude. Yeah.
We'll see if
That could be your
if anyone
like, hey, let's
shows
all
up.
help each other figure out what path that we're going to take, right? Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Thank you. Yeah.
I think I just want to say thank you, Jordan, for relating with me because I feel like I relate with you as well. And if there's anything that I can do to help you, I think we could probably help each other. I don't know what that looks like, but even if it's just like getting together on Zoom and brainstorming or chatting or whatever, if there's any way that I can help you, I'm open to it. And even if like maybe we can help create some momentum because once chat is happening in a group, it invites more chat. So like maybe I could make an intention to be more engaged in what you're doing. And then when I'm getting going, then maybe you could do the same for me and we can just create some momentum that way as well.
Totally.
Jordan,
Yeah.
I don't want to make you late for coffee, but I'm kind of interested in that post that you did on Ronin. I think my people like.
I was going to mention that too. Yeah, you mean for booking Big Fish clients?
Yeah. If you send me whatever you got on that, or give me access or whatever, I can see where that might be a fit for people or whatever. So,
do you want the product or do you want the original marketing funnel?
Yes to both.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send that over, and if you want to do something with it, I mean, yeah, you convinced me. You spent the first half of the call convincing me I should do that for free. So I'll do it at no revenue share.
Well, we'll see. Like I appreciate that, and usually I don't let people do things for free. Right on the flip side of it,
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Right. I want it to be awesome for you, but yeah. Let me take a look at that, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Okay, I'll DM you on School with all the links,
Cool,
and
dude. That sounds
I'll give
great.
you the group access too.
Yep.
I didn't see the post. Can you give me the Cole's notes of what you're talking about?
He's got
I was inspired, Travis, by your thing about showing the other side of like asking people to pay them
Yeah.
for their content. I saw that. I was like, wait, I should see if I can ask people to pay them for doing something with my course. So I just posted. I have a course that I've sold a few thousand copies of, and I was just like, hey, I'd like to pay you to partner up with me and sell my course, or I forget how I put it, but
Oh, okay, cool.
It was good.
Sweet.
You're good
That's
at
it.
naming shit.
That's a good segue into a couple of questions that I have about my group. The first is unrelated, probably really simple, but I'm just wondering, for collecting people's email right when they opt in and they're entering the group, should I have like a value-based hook or anything there for that? Like, because that's like the last resistance point for somebody to jump in is giving that email. Like, what's your thought on, and should I ask questions? There's a bunch of things that are optional to do there, and I'm kind of like, I don't know.
They're all good questions. Uh, I would ask for the email, right? You don't need a whole lot. It depends on what your about page looks like, but your basic thing is like, oh, we're going to learn how to sell big ticket stuff, right? That makes a lot of sense to me, right? Hey, you can make that right on the about page, instead of selling, $20 stuff to make 10 grand a month. It takes a lot. Like we're not that smart over here. We just sell a big ticket thing or something recurring, right? Oh, that's awesome, right? So your email could be like, hey, but one of the things you can do, like once you get enough people in there, like you can bring vendors in there that want your fucking affiliates, right? And they could sponsor, or you could work out second tier commissions or whatever, right? But hey, what's your email so we can send you hot selling, what all the affiliates they want, hot selling offers for big ticket when we find them, right? Because that's gonna be one of the things you're gonna become a distribution network. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. That leads me into my next question actually is do you have anything that I can use to show them how to get product partners? Because like Jordan, I'm no expert, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I won the auction and paid you all this money, is because I'm crappy at doing that.
Yeah. The first thing I would just do, and we think it's too simple, right? And I don't know if I have anything, but it's something you could whip together. It's like most people have affiliate programs, right? If you go to their site, you go to the bottom, like it sounds too simple, but most, especially your newbie, they don't know, right? So first thing, go look for their affiliate link. If you don't see one, then Google it, right? So whatever the thing is, and then affiliate program, right? So just show them how to Google shit.
Yeah. So okay. So like, because I was originally thinking that I was going to be directing them to go after digital assets like coaching and stuff like that. So approaching partnerships to get like 50.
I would see if they have one already first, right? If they don't, it's not hard to send an email that says, hey, kind of like the one did you guys look in Ronin today? That one's crushing, by the way. If somebody sends me and said, hey, do you have an affiliate program for Big Ticket Email Mojo? I think I can get it in front of some high ticket coaches that are tired of being on the phone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I said, hey, I don't have an affiliate program, but I have a licensing program, right? Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we have a private, almost every shopping cart has an affiliate program, right? So your big win is that they get responses back, right? And then it's like, hey, what type of affiliate commission would make sense for you, right? Again, what would be, oh, I'd give you, it's a big ticket. We have some hands-on stuff, so it'd be 20%. Okay, what's the price point? We charge $3,000. Okay, so I would make $600 for each side. Oh, yes, perfect, right? How do I sign up, right? Does that make sense? So it's really, but that's one of the things that it's like pretty easy, and one of the things that I would probably encourage you to do, just the easiest stuff, right? Does that make sense? Because you don't have to be an expert. You guys keep thinking you got to be an expert and everything. You don't have to be an expert, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. You said something earlier about going to ClickBank to try to spread like use an affiliate army for
Yeah.
getting Ronin. Is there a way for us to work together on that where I could try to collect those affiliates into my group and then give them Shogun traffic method because it would be really effective for affiliate marketers? And then it could help build my affiliate marketing army.
Yeah. Um, I mean, we could. I just um like ClickBank, you have to put a product up there, right? And then you have to get in
Yeah.
front of affiliates. So you're kind of making like, what do you really want? You just want more people in your community. There's probably a shorter path to that than putting it up on ClickBank. And does
You
that make
know,
sense?
like no, maybe I didn't say that right. So the affiliates that you're gonna use, I want to sell to those affiliates. I want those affiliates in my group. So I want to be able to somehow communicate with those affiliates that are going to be selling your membership to Ronin. I want them to be attracted to
Oh,
come into my
well,
group.
well, they're all going to be in Ronin. They're all going to be in Ronin.
The affiliates on ClickBank?
No, I'm not putting it on ClickBank.
Well, you were okay. So sorry, maybe
Yeah.
you mentioned ClickBank earlier. So what were
Yeah, I was
you?
thinking about doing it on ClickBank because they have the same thing where they pay out all the affiliates, but now school's doing it right there in school.
Oh, okay. I just
Yeah.
misunderstood
Does
what
that
you were
make
talking about.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, I was just trying to think of a way
yeah.
to like um target actual affiliate marketers in a big way for Shogun traffic method and
Yeah.
bring them into the community instead of just like side hustle people, you know?
Yeah. There's all kinds of affiliate marketing lists and affiliate marketing stuff out there. The big
Yeah.
thing is offer them shit that they want. That's why the whole reason I had a keyword research tool, it wasn't to make money off the keyword research tool because they wanted the keywords and to affiliate with them. So I was just giving them what they wanted. My whole
Hmm.
goal was to get the affiliates, right? So the big thing affiliate wants is your affiliates, like what's the hot selling product right now?
Yeah.
That's what they all want. We did stuff to get affiliates. We did stuff like uh, every event that would happen. Like, ooh, gold's real hot right now. What's the best gold programs? Ooh, I remember when one of our best things when Obama came in, they started legalizing marijuana. Like, what are the best things to sell as a marijuana affiliate, right? And we just crushed with those kind of ads and brought in affiliates. Does that make sense, right?
Hmm.
Um, those kind of things, right? So and running ads like those or just giving them to people like um if somebody's already doing affiliate stuff, usually they're not topical, so you say, hey, we just put together a report on the top 10 high ticket products that you could sell, right, or whatever it is, right? Would you like to give that to your people? And of course there's going to be links back to your site. Does that make sense, right? But you want to make
Yeah.
it useful for them, right?
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
Another thing you could do is you give them this book, give them the PDF version. We can modify it, right? Um, put both of our stuff in there. But what do you think everybody with affiliates? Let's think of this right now. If you had a thousand affiliates right now, what do you want your affiliates to know how to do better?
To sell.
Pre-sell. Affiliate
Yeah.
marketing is all pre. This is how I learned it. Affiliate marketing.
Okay.
How do I pre-frame something before I send them on a click, right? So, hey, do you have any affiliates? Yeah. Like, are all of them converting super high for you? No. Right. What if you get a certain percentage of the converting better? That'd be great. Right. Um, do you think it'd be useful to offer a pre-selling book and how uh, you could pre-sell stuff, pre-sell your products, right? We'd make the PDF available for everybody. Does that make sense? Right.
Hmm.
You just put it behind an opt-in form or whatever you want to do. Or does that make sense? So
Yeah.
you don't have to have, it doesn't have to be my book. Any author out there you think would be awesome for it. You think they're going to be against any more eyeballs? Again, what does every product owner want? They want more eyeballs.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? So every resource out there is your resource too, right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So if you see something out there you like for affiliates, like, hey, I want to put this in front of some eyeballs, and we're buying some solo ads or just whatever. Does that make sense? Or putting it in front of affiliates, right? One of the things I'm doing is going to people that have a bunch of affiliates and saying, hey, how many affiliates do you got? Last time I looked, it was like you had several thousand affiliates. Like, would you be open to sending them my book, right?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, just 1 second. My daughter is asking me something. Go
That's
ahead.
all right.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I'll be up in a minute and I will make you some dinner. Okay. Okay.
She's old now. She's past 10 years old now.
That's right. She's a decade.
That's right.
Yeah. Do you know of any ecosystems that where there's a bunch of high ticket stuff or partners that are all in one place?
Yeah, like David knows. You go to JV Zoo, you put something out on JV Zoo. Yeah, just do something super cheap on JV Zoo, put something out there, right? Like, you can license something, but you just got to get people's permission, right? Does that make sense? A lot of affiliates on JV Zoo, all the big guys are on JV Zoo. So does that make sense?
Okay.
ClickBank, they're on ClickBank. The problem is like all those things are low ticket.
Yeah,
JV
that's
Zoo is doing all $7 things, right? Do you think they
the
might want to know how to sell $700 things
right.
and make 20? So that again, you're giving them something different, right? Like you don't beat up on JV Zoo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hear you're a decade. Oh, you get your headphones on.
Yeah, sorry, she can't hear you. I'll come up and
Just wish her happy belated birthday.
Travis says happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know the code for this one, buddy.
What about your other one? Is that one locked?
Yeah, I'll help you in like 5 minutes. It's there though. Okay.
I don't know what she was saying, but she wasn't happy.
She wants to. I'm the only one home right now. It's just her and I,
Yeah.
and she's trying to entertain herself, and she doesn't get a lot of screen time, so she's come down asking if she can watch
Oh,
something on
yeah,
my
yeah.
laptop. She
I'm
cleaned her
gonna,
room.
I'm gonna let him go here in a minute. I got a steak waiting on me. So
Yeah. Cool. All right. So yeah. I wish I knew of like an ecosystem like JV Zoo, but it was just like all high ticket stuff.
well, the cool part is like there is no good and bad. The harder it is to find, the more valuable thing that you're building, right?
That's true. Yeah,
Does
that's
that
true.
make sense?
Yeah.
If it was easy, right? Yeah, it makes it easier to put people in, but then it's not as valuable. Does that make sense? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
hard to find data. Sucks trying to find it, but once you got it, it's way more valuable, right? So almost everything's like that. So yeah, there's affiliate conventions. There's like think about that. Everybody can do an affiliate convention, like Affiliate Summit West or something like that. Why couldn't you say, hey, I'd like to give everybody that came to Affiliate Summit West on 2024 an unannounced bonus, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Right.
That gave me an idea because
That's pretty cool.
I actually went to Affiliate Summit West. There's also Affiliate Summit East. There's Affiliate Summit Asia. And
That's right.
all of those, I believe, have Facebook groups
Yep.
as well. Think about
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Give them a book, right? I'll give you the PDF version. We can modify it up, put them in your group, put them in my group, right? Like,
Okay.
does that make sense? So, again, other people's resources are your resources too, right? You just got to figure out what the influencer wants. What we know for broad categories, what they want. They want to solve problems for the people, right? They want to look like heroes. They don't want to have to do any of the work, right? And a little bit of compensation doesn't have to be money, but a little compensation is nice. Like, you guys don't have to come up with the product, right? You guys worried about the vending machine. That's all you guys got to worry about. Get product somewhere else, right? And putting the vending machine in flow, right? That's all you got to do. This could be
Yeah.
the vending machine. You don't want to build a brand new vending machine. You want to take a vending machine that's already existing, modify it a little bit, right? Put it in
Yeah.
traffic. Boom, right? Drive that back to your thing, right? If that makes sense. So,
Okay. All right. Just a little update since it's just us on the call anyway. So I had like a really long call with Antonio, and so
yeah.
poor guy was in Dubai, and I think I didn't realize, but he was up till 6 a.m. talking to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we're kind of getting more on the right track.
Good.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be good.
You're much harder than I am.
Yeah, like I just like
I'm not going to get in the way of that. I mean, just don't wear them out, but
no,
you know,
he's an enthusiastic guy. He's easy to work with.
yeah, good.
And so and he's good with feedback and stuff like that. He wants the feedback so that he can,
Good.
have it turn out the way we want it to.
Yeah.
He was actually super grateful for that because he said other times it's a bigger challenge trying to give somebody what they want when they won't get on a call and give you the feedback
Yeah.
you need, right? So no, it was good, but like I'm trying to look at it from my own lens of how I would want to consume it, and like how I would want to consume it would be like
Yeah.
really comprehensive and explains in
Yeah.
dimensionalized
I love it
ways.
because you have a different perspective, and because I've been doing it so long, I can't see I'm like a fish in water. I don't see the water, right? So you have a different perspective on it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I think it's gonna go good.
all right, guys, I appreciate you all.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Travis.
you got that steak look in your eye. Go get it.
I do. Catch y'all later.
See
Cheers.
ya.